There we go. We're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 24-hour stream. Right now, I am the DM. Adam is nowhere to be found. He took Clancy with him, which means we're not going to have any problems. So we are going to go ahead and get started with the Mage Tower. The Mage Tower is a module that I myself wrote. It is currently available on the DM's Guild, and as of a couple days ago, it is now an Electrum bestseller. I'm actually shamelessly posting the link right there in the chat. So if you want to check it out, if you want to support me or check out some of the other modules I wrote, go ahead and click that link. But we are here for the children, so make sure that you are donating this entire time. You are going to need some help, or rather, these three are going to need some help to get through this. So, all of those donations, all of those buffs, any of that kind of thing is really, really going to help out. And remember, it all goes to a good cause. It goes to the Cincinnati Children's Hospital through Extra Life. So, make sure you are clicking those buttons. How about the three of you go ahead and introduce yourselves as well as your character, and then I will go ahead and get this train rolling. We can go ahead and start with Tanya.
Okay, hey, my name is Tanya. I'll be playing Fidget Fairberry. She is a lightfoot rogue, very sneaky, very sticky fingered, and does some stabby as well. And hopefully, we won't die.
All right, we'll go to Rob.
I am Rob, and I am playing Barile Narty, a stout halfling druid who has way more magical spells than I've ever used before.
And Dustin.
I'm Dustin. I'm usually on One Shot Onslaught or Halfway to Heroes. Today I'm going to be. I didn't think of a name. I'm going to call him Bugs. He is a rabbit folk barbarian.
Bugs, okay. Bugs the rabbit folk barbarian. Wonderful.
Renamed Beef.
So the three of you are here at the Mage Tower. You have come to join the Modris Blood Sports Association, and these are tryouts. Every person who has ever competed in the Modris Blood Sports Association has competed in this trial, and though not very many have ever reached the top of the tower, they are graded on their performance to see how far they can make it and whether or not they'll be accepted into the MBA. So you have all gone through a number of different trials, and this is, as you were told, the final test. If you can get through this, the three of you will be accepted and be able to appear in a future Modris Blood Sports Association.
Start the group off with some advantage.
You are,
Love this module.
The three of you are walked out into this arena, and though there is no crowd here at the tryouts, it is the MBA area. And in the center, you just see this massive, huge tower just sitting there in the middle of this sandy dome. The thing that's really strange about it is it appears to be about 200 feet tall, maybe even taller, which is very, very tall. A three-story house is only about 35 or 40 feet, or a two-story house. But it looks really thin. It seems to be very, very thin at its base, maybe only 15 square feet or so. And as it rises up, the upper floors actually appear to be much larger. Just the fact that it's balancing in this way without collapsing in itself seems a little unnerving. And what else is odd is you can't see the base of it entirely because it is completely obscured by a thick fog. You just see this massive tower looming out of the fog right there in the center of the arena. Other than that, it is just the three of you. And there are no announcers, there is no crowd. The gate just simply shuts. And now the three of you are here standing in front of this tower. As with the previous trials, you're not given much information. You are simply put in a room and then the door shuts. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna look around the room. I'm not sure. Just try and figure out where we are. I don't know. Hang on.
Well, you do know that you're in the Modris Blood Sports arena.
Okay, I know I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, you're all we're trying out. This is part of the tryout process.
Gotcha. And do we have our weapons with us in here currently?
Yes, you have all of your gear. And I mentioned previously that you can have one of your weapons be a +1 magical weapon. So if you're using a sword, you can make it a +1 magical sword or whatever it is.
Well, Matt, we've got to find the door.
What do you guys want to do? I don't know.
Find the door, perhaps?
Stairs?
Yeah, it's hard to see the door. Like I said, the base of the tower is completely obscured in that rolling fog. You don't see any stairs or anything. It's just this massive arena that is, normally used for NBA, but in the center is just that tower. You don't appear to see anything else in this room.
We're not going to find anything standing out here. Come on, let's go in. And she's just going to walk towards the fog.
What are the
You
other
heard
two
the
of you
lady.
going to do?
Bugs
I'm
is gonna
following
follow
her.
in the back.
All right,
up
so
the
the
rear.
the three of you start to walk into this thick fog. And as soon as you get into the fog, you actually suddenly just have a feeling of uneasiness. You feel like something is just not right. Something is wrong. You're not really sure why. It's like you're just suddenly very agitated and a little anxious. I need the three of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Don't know if that
Are
works.
we being frightened because I have advantage against that?
Yes.
Oh, same.
Mine rolled twice.
So we have a 26, which is very good, a 16, and then you have a 13, but you're going to roll again because you have advantage.
There it is.
15. So 15, 26, and 16. So the three of you do feel like there's some sort of, be it magical energy or a curse or a spell or something about this tower that is filling you with dread. But the three of you are trained enough that you are able to move past it. You're able to fight away this encroaching fear. And you actually can, though you can't see, are able to continue forward into this fog despite it seeming to do everything in its power to repel you from this place. Do any of you want to do anything other than just continue to head forward?
I think I'm pretty stubborn, so I'm just going to keep walking.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow her since
For waking up
she's
late.
in front of me.
Actually, I'll probably reach my hand behind like Ferris Bueller so that we can like make a train.
All right. Well, thank you, Johnny, for giving us a donation for waking up late. That was nice of you. So the three of you start just walking forward into this fog, and you can't see, but you start to hear sounds. At first, it sounds kind of like a hum that turns into a hiss. Then you start hearing all matter of like gurgling and bubbling noises, and then like horrific screams. But because you all succeeded on that save previously, you know that this is just whatever sort of curse has been placed here, or whatever magical traits this fog has. You know that it is just trying to make you flee and trying to scare you, but you are all too strong for that. And you move past all this, you're ignoring all this noise, all these effects, and you finally begin to see the tower itself, a shadow of it silhouetting itself in the fog as you get closer and closer. And as you come within, maybe 5 feet or so of the base, you can now see it pretty clearly. You are close enough that you can see that it is made out of like a layered brick, and it was, as you guessed, it seems extremely narrow at the base. Maybe only like a 15-foot room, and as you look up, it seems like it gets much wider than that the higher that it goes. But you might be surprised to see that you don't find a door. Instead, you just find a stone archway, and you can see directly into the bottom floor of this tower. The stone archway seems like it has hinges where maybe a door was at some point, but perhaps it has been completely broken off. The inside of the room is quite dark, and the fog is obscuring a lot of the light from the overhead dome lights that are in this Mojo Bloodsports arena. But you are still able to peer inside. Do any of you have dark vision? Or rather, do any of you not have dark vision?
I don't think I do.
I do not have dark vision, but you said we can kind of see that it's a large open space on the other side.
Yeah, it's not even a door. It looks like an archway, like where a door used to be, like a frame. So if none of you have dark vision, what you can see is with the dim lighting, you just see that it seems to be an empty, hollow room. You can't really see the ceiling because of just you're standing outside the arch of the door, and you just feel like in the center of the room is some sort of pedestal on which sits some sort of large object. It's really hard to get many details, but you don't see anything like moving around inside, no lights coming from inside. All you see is kind of some sort of object in there. So I guess the main thing you can observe is that it's dark and there is no source of light in that room.
Okay, right next to that object, I'm gonna, Baral will use create bonfire.
Okay.
And so I'll use that. It's a cantrip I have, so I'll use that to light up the space next to and around the object there.
So you want to put the bonfire in the tower or outside the tower?
Yeah, right next to, if I can see the ground near that object, I want to put the bonfire near it.
Yeah, you can just straight up see into the bottom of the room. Okay,
cool.
So you cast the bonfire, and I believe that it was like up to a 5-foot space, right? Something like that.
Yeah, the magic bonfire fills a 5-foot cube, and any creatures within it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
And me without my marshmallows.
All right, so as you move into, or not move, sorry, I'm trying to bring up the stream to make sure it's switched. It looks like it's still showing the Mage Tower cover instead of the map.
Oh, hang on a second.
I see the map.
Did this? Is that what we needed?
Yes. All right. So you light the bonfire right here in the center of this room. And when you light this bonfire, you see that the large pedestal in the center of the room seems to be about 4 feet tall. It is made of stone, and it is taking up maybe about 7 square feet, which, you know, is a pretty large chunk of this small room. Sitting on top of the stone pedestal, you can see shining in the light what looks to be a gauntlet-sized fist. It's an arm stretched upwards with a closed fist that appears to be made out of stone as well. It looks like it would be so large it may be like a giant, like the size of like a giant's arm, but it seems to just be sitting on the stone pedestal, and gripped in that fist is a very large, maybe close to the size of one of your heads, a very large, brilliant light blue gemstone. And the light from the fire is just kind of refracting off of it, and it's causing all these interesting lights and shadows to dance on the walls around it. Also, if you're peering inside, because I assume the 3 of you are still standing outside the tower looking in, you can't see all the details, but you do see that there seems to be what you would assume is like gems, like different characters and some sort of strange language carved into the walls around this room. And these gems that these are made out of seem to be refracting light from your bonfire spell as well. From where you're standing, you're not really sure what it says, but it looks strange. It doesn't look like a language that you've seen really, but then again, you might be able to observe it more closely once you go inside.
I would like to check the archway for any sort of traps, like a tripwire on the bottom or whatever, before I go through.
Sure. Yeah, do an investigation check. Unless you wanted to, cast a spell like Find Traps or something like that.
No.
My cats are out of control. It's like a lot this time. Normally it's like twice per stream. This is like 10 times in the first 5 minutes.
But I'm so happy. I love the cats. So yeah, that was a 20.
Oh, 20, sorry.
Dirty 20.
All right, a 20. So you are leaning down and you're checking the area right in front of the door, making sure there's not like a false bottom on the floor or something like that. You don't see any sort of runes or anything carved in. I mean, there's runes on the inside of the walls, but you don't see any runes carved in on the outside around the door or anything like that. As far as you can tell, it doesn't look like there's any traps or anything.
Looks like we should be safe to go in.
How far away
All right,
is
you first.
the stone platform in
Chicken.
the center?
Huh?
How far away is the stone platform in the center to the entrance?
It's right in the middle of the room, so it's probably like
Mhm.
maybe 10 feet away from the door.
Okay.
8 feet, 10 feet.
Okay.
This room's somewhere between 15 and 20 square feet. It's like smaller than most bedrooms, or about that size, which just seems small because it's such a giant tower.
Gotcha.
Well, I will call. Is it Belial? What's your name?
Belial.
Belial. I will call the chicken and somersault in and go stand next to the pedestal.
All right, so you just like back up and do this like somersault. Do like an acrobatics check for me. Let's see how
Sure.
how
See
lovely
how
of a
graceful.
somersault this is. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right, you got a 22,
Wild magic
so
surge.
you do it perfectly. You roll forward with just the right momentum, the right form, and you go somersaulting through the door, except you don't. You
What?
seem to hit what feels like a solid wall, and
Ow.
you bash right into what you can only assume is some sort of invisible door. At full speed, you come crashing into it, and you take 1 damage.
Rude.
That's what you get for showing off.
Well, do you want to handle this?
You can
Oh, you're
assume
doing
that you
fine.
were able to cast spells through the door. You just can't somersault through it. It seems to be a physical barrier.
Oh man, I don't have any spells.
But the
Well, it
light
usually does.
light seems to pass through it as well, because you can see it through it, and the fire light is coming out of it.
I'm gonna poke the invisible barrier with my magic scimitar.
All right. Go ahead and you go to poke it, and it just kind of bounces off. Like it doesn't do anything to you. You just feel like you jabbed, like a solid door. However,
crap.
I would like you to roll a D100 for me, because we have some wild magic coming in.
Lovely.
A 42.
42.
Nice.
The meaning of life.
Plant.
All right. So you poke it, and you suddenly hear a strange sizzling sound directly below you, Ryle. And suddenly a massive geyser erupts from the ground directly below you. You are launched up into the air. Your little halfling body goes flying up about 10 feet. And I need you to make an acrobatics check to see how well you land. 23, that's pretty good. But I would also like you to make a Constitution saving throw, because this is some pretty hot water. And we're going to see how tough you really are. 6. So this water kind of all but scalds you. It's very hot. It doesn't seem to damage your skin, but I mean, it was close. You might have gave you a little sunburn or something, or some sort of skin burn. And you are actually going to take 7 fire damage.
Nice.
As you are burned by this geyser that was summoned by Johnny's donation. It's for the kids. So
Crack, crack.
Now who's trying to show off?
Not me.
but you do land perfectly with your acrobatics. You just kind of land on the ground, and this geyser is now just a bubbling puddle of hot water directly in front of the doorway.
Fantastic.
Well, that's great. Now, what do we do?
Do you want to punch it?
Anybody? Well, we can't punch it. We can't poke it. We can cast magic through it.
Can't somersault it.
I don't have any magic.
Okay,
Can
let
I
me
do
think.
like
Let me
a-
think.
Investigation for like a button somewhere nearby outside the room?
Yeah, you can do an investigation. You just want to kind of like feel around.
Yeah,
The area.
feel around for little.
Yeah, you can roll an investigation check.
Let's see. Oh gosh, not good. -1. Let's see.
A 3.
Let's see. Did it roll?
13. It rolled a
Oh.
3 the first time.
Oh,
So
you know
with
what? I clicked this dice down here, and then I clicked roll beyond 20 at the top. So I guess that's what.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
So with a 3, you are feeling around, and you don't even really get to search because you aren't really paying enough. You're paying so much attention to the wall that you're not paying attention to the ground, and you just step right in the hot puddle.
Oh man, he's trying to kill us.
And you take 2 fire damage as you burn your foot.
Oh dang it! Burn the fur off my foot.
All right. Fidget is going to stand up very straight and then knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on it, and you feel like you're just knocking on a normal wooden door. It feels kind of hollow. It just feels like a door.
Then can I feel around for a door handle?
Yep. Yeah, you feel around, you feel a little door handle right there where you might expect it to be, a little low to the right. And it just feels like a normal door handle. You just can't see it.
I'm going to open the door.
Sure. Yeah, you pull the door right open. It just opens up. And even though you still can't see it, it just opens and you feel the door in your hand. And suddenly a little bit of the smoke that was inside caused from the bonfire actually starts to rush out the doorway. And you can confidently assume that you have actually opened the door.
Are you kidding me? Really? I hate this place.
Well, the sooner we get in, the sooner we get out. And I will walk through the door and not somersaults anywhere.
All right.
Go check out this.
Is that fire still on the floor?
Yep, I just put it on the map.
Okay.
So hopefully everybody can see that.
Wait a second. I think I have to pull it up and then it'll. There it is.
Okay. Yeah, I put that fire right there. So it's just kind of burning. You are all coming out of right here. This is where the front door is.
Okay.
And you walk into this room. And I'll just go ahead and read the description I had written. You enter to find yourself in a small, dimly lit stone room. It doesn't seem to be hardly 20 feet in size, and the low ceiling is only about 7 feet in height. There are no sconces on the walls, and the only source of light shines in from the outside, except for the bonfire spell that you've cast. The stone walls are cold, and they seem to be overgrown with moss, but beneath this moss you can see a conglomerate of colorful, seemingly random images, and they all seem to be made out of those inlet jewels that I said were refracting the firelight. Now that you're in here, you notice that some of them seem to be symbols and letters and runes, but some of them also seem to look like little pictures, kind of like hieroglyphs. Let's see. In the very center of this chamber, you see the marbled rock pedestal with the stone arm extending from it. It seems to look like a giant gauntlet. And you just see that sapphire gem just reflecting that firelight. You don't see any other doors in the room. The ceiling appears to be solid. The walls appear to be solid. You just have the open door outside, which is still invisible. But were you walking inside after you open the door?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you just walk in and nothing happens. You just walk inside. It's just slightly more cold. You can smell the moss and the kind of the overgrown, soily smell that is inside.
Once the others are in, I would like to close the door behind us.
Yeah, I'm also gonna walk in.
Sure. You walk right in and you close the door, and it just you can still see outside. But now you're just in this room with a burning bonfire.
We're all gonna die here.
Why don't you all make a perception check?
I'm gonna start casually feeling for a knob on the inside of the door behind my back while they're looking around.
All right. Yeah, when you're feeling behind your back, you feel there's a doorknob on the inside as well. If you wriggle it, it doesn't seem locked or anything. It seems like you could open the door again if you wanted to. All right. So we have a 9, an 11, and an 18. So the 9 and 11, you're just looking around and you two notice look, some of these are like they look kind of like letters. Some others seem like little, just little not drawings, but they seem to be images of objects, of like animals and things like that. However, Fidget, you actually are looking a little bit closer, and some of the things that you notice are, let's see. You notice that most of these images are actually repeating. So they're not all completely random. They're like images of birds. You see some strange like bovine creatures. There's some skeleton warriors. You see a hand. It's like a fist, not a fist, but like an outstretched hand. You see like a sun, like a little moon. You see little pyramids. All these strange carvings are all over the walls, and they seem to be inlet with those jewels, but they don't seem to be in any sort of pattern. They just seem to be like randomly, just randomly put around the room and into the walls.
And is there anything special about the way that they light up?
Well,
just light refracted.
They just seem to be like someone carved into the stone and then input little pieces of gems to make the images. But with an 18, that's pretty good. You notice that there are 5 of each of these images I've described. So birds, bovine creatures, skeleton warriors, hands, the sun, the moon, and pyramids. There's 5 of each of those.
Does anyone know what this stuff means?
The others. Well, there's a pattern. Okay, so now I'm going to check by the fist with the gem. Are there like any symbols on there?
When you look at the fist, it doesn't seem to have any symbols. It just looks like an arm with a fist at the end, and the fist is just grasping that jewel. There doesn't seem to be anything carved into it. The fist itself isn't adorned with like a bracelet or anything like that. It's just
on the pedestal though, like on the surface.
So on the
pedestal, not where it's coming up, but on the.
Yes. So on the pedestal, there's like an interwoven design that's just kind of making a circle around it. It kind of looks like Celtic, how it'll have like the interlaced lines carved into a lot of things, kind of like how the Celtic cross is made. It's just that kind of imagery, but it doesn't seem to really be depicting anything. You don't see any letters or runes or words. It's just kind of a fancy design to make it look nice. And the pedestal itself looks overgrown as well. In fact, the only thing that doesn't seem completely tainted by time is this gem.
Bugs is gonna bunny hop onto the pedestal and see if he can like spin this hand around or something.
Okay. You jump up on there and go ahead and make a strength check, because when you go to pull on it, it doesn't seem to be moving very easily. So if you want to try to use some strength. So you got a 17. So you really put your might into it. You got your little rabbit feet flat up against the stone. You're like pulling on this thing, and it does not seem to move. It seems stationary. You do feel like the gem wriggles a little bit within the fingertips, but you're not able to break it free. It seems like these stone fingers are clasped around this gem, but it doesn't seem like attached to it. It seems like it truly is just clasped within these stone fingers.
Does it look like the light from the gem is like pointing at certain areas in the room, or is it just like an overall glow to the room from the light coming from?
Yeah, it's just the light from the fire.
Oh.
You know that it was dark before, so there's no like source of light other than that magical bonfire.
I wonder what's under these vines. Did he make like a legit bonfire? Is it like burning the vines?
Were you attempting to burn any of the vines? I thought you just kind of put a bonfire in the room for light.
The bonfire automatically burns anything in its area.
Okay. I mean, if you had it like right up against the pedestal, I guess some of the vines that were growing would have been charred and start to burn or whatever. They don't seem to be immune to its effects. But you're not like starting a fire. It's just burning the pieces of plant life that are closest to it. For the most part, it's staying contained within its little 5-foot area.
I'm gonna go up to some of the symbols on the wall and see if like I can push one.
Sure. Just random, or do
Like,
you have a
just
specific one?
mess with it. The open hand.
Okay. You walk up to one of the little open hand symbols. It's just like a 5 fingers in a palm, and you just tap it. And when you tap it, it actually begins to glow blue.
Aha!
And you'll see one of the fingers on the stone glove point straight up, but the other 4 are clasped around it.
Guys! Find the open hand ones. Push them.
Oh, a clue.
And I'm gonna find the other symbols.
Okay.
Open hands and hopefully get everybody to.
Yep, I'm gonna hop
Mess
around
with
looking for him.
Yeah, you are able to. It is certainly one of the more recognizable symbols, and you just find them, and there are 5 of them. And every time you push one of them, a different finger releases, and before too long, the gem clatters out of the open stone hand and just bounces down to the floor.
But I'm up.
As soon as that happens, all the symbols stop glowing, and the gem instead begins to glow blue.
Sweet. I'm gonna go pick it up.
All right, you pick it up, and when you touch it, suddenly the door that you all walk through to get in here becomes opaque. The light from outside stops, and you can no longer see out of it, and it just seems like you're inside a room with a normal door. And instead, above you, a small 5-foot square just opens up in the rocks above you, 7 feet above your head.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's great. I'm 3.5 feet tall. How am I getting up there?
I'm gonna.
Here, somebody throw me.
I'm gonna bunny hop up there.
Yeah, I think it's not. I think you could probably do that. Just kind of leap up with your big bunny legs.
I actually have a skill. It's like a a trait that says where is it? It's a racial trait. Hair rabbit hop. I roll a d20 or d12, and then that's as far as I can jump in any direction of my choice. Did I click it? I think I clicked it.
You did.
What did I
rabbit hop. You rolled a 2.
Oh, are you kidding me?
So what is it? How's it work?
I guess I only hop 2 feet.
But do you add that to your a normal person's long jump, which is like? Why don't you do an acrobatics check?
Okay. That's like a free action to move before I actually move.
I haven't missed any donations, have I? I know Johnny was he donated, so I'm just making sure I didn't miss any.
Just the hot bath jump.
Well, you haven't found anything too dangerous yet, so maybe you'll get some later.
I got a 17.
All right, so yeah, you're able to jump up, and even though your jump wasn't as great as you had first expected it to be, you do manage to jump high enough to stick your arm straight out and catch yourself and begin to lift yourself up through the ceiling into the next room.
Go on the rope.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my rope down to my buddies down below.
Okay. I do think one thing you are going to notice, however, is that when you're up here, you feel like you just climbed out of the ground and you feel like you're just outside. It doesn't seem like there's a room. You're in like a room with no walls and no ceiling, and it just looks like you're literally climbing out of a hole into like some interdimensional space, and you're now just outside in the middle of like a forest or something that you've never seen before. And all around you is a big cement tile, probably about 30 by 30 feet. And there are 3 sinister looking statues in this room. But, I just figured that you would notice that immediately when you came through this hole. But you can certainly drop down your rope and lower it down to them.
Okay.
You first.
Okay. I will climb up on the pedestal's still there, right? So I can get like a jumping start on the rope.
Yeah,
so
you could. Yeah, it's close enough to the pedestal to definitely use it as a little bit of a climbing aid.
Bit of a boost. And then, yeah.
Lower it more. I'm short. I can't even get up on the pedestal. Lower it more.
Yeah, you all left him for last.
Well, I must.
It's like 2
but I'm
feet
a halfling too. I am 2 feet 11 and a half inches.
Oh, you're both halflings? I don't know how I missed that. That's great. That's awesome. So 2 halflings and a rabbit. I didn't even realize that.
Sounds like a joke.
What a
2
cliche.
halflings and a rabbit walk into
a bar.
Yeah.
2 halflings and a rabbit walk into an invisible door. So
Right.
you
Have a climb.
literally walk into it. Yeah, you can all climb. I'm not going to make you roll for that or anything. If you just take a few minutes, you can very easily help each other get up into this I don't want to say room, because you don't feel like you're in a room at all. You are on like a concrete base, like as if someone was going to build something here and just didn't. And other than that, you feel like you're standing in the middle of a forest with a like it's the middle of the afternoon outside. The sun is shining. There's trees and birds and all sorts of stuff. But you see these 3 statues, and what is depicted in these statues appears to be 3 demonic creatures. They're all wielding weapons, and they seem to be engaged in some sort of battle. The 3 of them. Let's see. You see, they all 3 are winged, and so they all have wings carved into them, and they're brandishing sinister-looking weapons. They appear to be engaged in some savage battle behind the 3 statues. So on the concrete, like flat, carved into the stone behind them, you see a square that is like maybe an inch, like raised up an inch higher than the rest of the floor, and there is a 12-pointed star etched into it. What would you all like to do? Oh, you would also notice, I guess, just upon immediately looking, each of these demonic statues are also clutching in their fists. Well, 2 of them are clutching gems in their fists. One of them has an empty fist, and all 3 of them are wielding a weapon in their other hand.
The gem that I tucked into my bra, is it still glowing?
It is.
Are the ones in their hands glowing?
They are not. But if you'd like to examine the statues more closely or examine the gems, you can do so if you want to make an investigation check.
Yeah, I'll take one and take a really close look at it. If the other one, I'm gonna look at another one.
Okay. Yeah, they seem pretty. I mean, they're like definitely juxtaposed against the rather peaceful surroundings. Like they look very sinister and very lifelike, but all around you just seems very peaceful and nice.
I'd like to see if I could take the weapon out of their hands.
Okay. So she can go ahead and roll that investigation, but yeah, you can walk up and grab at one of the weapons, and let's see, one of them is holding a flail. The other one is holding a sword, and the third one is holding a 3-forked trident. You go to pull on whichever one you want. Which one do you want to grab?
The trident.
You go to grab the trident, and it's just, it's solid. It just seems like a solid piece of rock. Like it is just part of the statue. She gets a 26 on that investigation check with a +8. It's no wonder that it's such a good roll. So when you examine it, you're looking at this scene in a lot more detail. You're really trying to figure out what's going on here and look at the gems and see, they definitely aren't made of stone. They seem to be separate from the statues, just like the other one was. One of the demons is depicted with a long snout, and he has 2 backward curving horns. In its left hand, it is clasping a brilliant gold, yellowish colored gem, and in its right, it's holding this large spiked flail that it has high in the air, like it's about to, crack one of these other demons' skulls open as it's chasing it. The one in front of it is depicted as rushing towards the other demon. And this is a bald-headed creature. It has 1 eye in the center of its head and a big, wide mouth with these sharp, deadly fangs. In its left hand, it is holding an orange and red colored ruby that, when you look really close, it seems like on the inside of it, it's like it almost seems to be giving off like a glow, like as if there's like almost like a living flame inside of it. This creature is posed in mid-strike with a sword, and the sword itself seems to be glowing as well, and it looks like the way the blade is made is not dissimilar to the way people would draw flames often as well. It might be like trying to be depicted as some sort of flame tongue weapon. And the third statue shows yet another demon. However, this one has 3 eyes and a single jagged horn protruding from its forehead, and its left hand is outstretched and empty, but it's holding the 3-forked trident that Ryle was trying to pull on a moment ago. This one seems to be aimed at the one-eyed demon's head. So all three of them are like chasing each other, and it seems like they're all trying to kill the one in front of them.
Guys, can we just smash these statues? Because I've never been in a tavern where the stories being told didn't include, and then the statues came to life and attacked us.
Me out of putting this gem in that demon's hand. Talk me out of that.
Imminent death. How about that? Is that enough? 2 words: imminent and death. Do you know what those mean? Because I can define them if that's not enough.
Okay, but it's symmetrical. Symmetry is very important.
Can we at least like break their arms off or the wings or something? Like just.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, wait.
Give it a try.
Okay,
I can't break anything.
Okay, I'm just gonna build a bonfire over here around the guy who doesn't have a gem in his hand, so that maybe he gets a little burned when he inevitably comes to life and attacks us.
But he's the one they're all picking on.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast a bonfire on the guy, right on top of the guy who's got the yellow gem.
Oh, the one that's like the one that's just holding like a, what kind of weapon was he holding? A flail?
Flail? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you put a bonfire right on it, and this fire appears on the ground, and these flames are just licking the side of this statue, and nothing seems to happen.
Did you say there's like a little platform?
Like you're just kind of burning the statue. It's charring the stone a little bit. Is there a platform?
Yeah, you said there's like a raised.
Yeah, it's like only an inch raised, but it definitely sticks out from the rest of the. And this stone plot doesn't look like brand new. I mean, it too is overgrown. Like it looks like it's in the middle of a forest. And that raised platform has a 12-pointed star in like a kind of pentagram shape.
Like go pat my foot on. You know how like rabbits do real quick? And just kind of pat it with my foot. Kind of like push on it.
Okay, yeah,
Step
I guess
it's
a dodecagram.
You know what I mean?
You put your foot on it, and it just feels like solid stone. It feels just the same as the rest of the platform, just raised.
I thought maybe it was like a button.
Can we push one of the statues onto it? Is this like some Zelda shit?
You can attempt to try to push one of them if you want. Which one do you want to try to push?
The one without anything in his hand.
Okay, yeah, make a strength check.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go.
I'm gonna help her push.
Okay. You can either take the check for her or grant advantage, whichever one you think would be more beneficial.
I have a +2.
I have a +6 strength.
Well, why don't you do it?
Wait,
and I'll be moral support.
And I'll stand over here, far away.
Yeah. All right, I'm rolling for it.
Talking about our imminent doom.
We're all gonna die,
Rob,
guys.
you sound like Elliot Kalin. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's from the Flophouse podcast. You sound just like him.
Got a 22.
No idea.
A 22. Okay, so you get low. You use your legs. It's like you're a football player. You're doing everything right. You're keeping your neck up, and you push the perfect amount, and it doesn't budge. This thing seems like it weighs at least a ton.
Dang.
Solid stone.
Well, I tried.
All right, well, we're getting nowhere. Let's just get the death over with. Go ahead and stick the stupid stone in his hands.
All right, you guys stand way over there, like a little further back. I'm gonna take my gem and like be as far back as I can. Put it in their hand.
Wait.
There is no wait. I just did it.
I'm getting back further.
As soon as you put the blue gem in its hand, the fingers do clasp around it.
Yep.
And all 6 of their eyes, because one of them has 3, one of them has 1, and the other one has 2. All 6 of their eyes begin to glow. The one holding the gold and yellow gem, its eyes glow gold. The one holding the red gem, its eyes glow red. And the one now clasping the blue gem, its eye begins to glow blue. But none of them come to life.
They're just glowing?
Yep, the gems are glowing, their eyes are glowing, and the one brandishing the flame tongue sword, the flame part of the flame tongue starts glowing, but it seems to still be made out of a gem. It's not like a moving flame or anything.
See, we didn't die.
Yet. Go give it a hug or something. See what
How
happens.
did you make it this far? I'm going to take both.
I made it this far by being careful. That's why I'm still alive.
Jump on that square, the raised part. I'm gonna jump on it like I'm jumping in a puddle.
Okay, you jump on it, and you just land on a little stone block. You don't. Nothing seems to happen. You don't feel it click. It doesn't feel like a pressure plate or anything like that.
You said there's like a star.
Yeah, it's a 12-pointed star.
Can I like investigate looking for another star on one of these statues?
It's a dodecagram because it's a dodecagon. So, what are you gonna do?
Like investigate for another star shape on one of these statues that matches that.
Sure, you can do an investigation real quick.
Or even like the concrete floor too.
Sure.
Investigation.
A 2. That's good. Oh no, 22. Oh no, 22 is your strength save. Yeah, a 2. So you got a -1 to that, and you only rolled a 3.
Nice.
You just like walk forward and bang your shin on one of the statues, and you are the one thing you gather is they're definitely made of stone.
Well, you've just instilled me with a great deal of confidence.
Well, maybe you should start looking instead of hiding.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna look around at all the weeds and vines here and see if I see anything dangerous. And I'm just gonna walk around like the edge, because you said we're in like a stone platform surrounded by overgrown stuff. So would I use like a nature check to see if there's anything dangerous there?
Yeah, you can do a nature check to make sure. Yeah, you can check your surroundings and make sure you're not just like being, preyed upon by something.
23.
A 23. You're looking around. You're checking all the trees. You're checking to make sure it's not like poisonous moss or something that you've all been standing on. You don't see any like crazy spores or slimes or anything. It feels pretty safe. However, if you walk over to step into the forest and off the stone platform, you find that you walk into a solid wall. And anything past the threshold of the stone appears to be a wall that is somehow enchanted to look like this forest, or maybe you are in this forest, and if that's the case, this room is located here and these walls are invisible. Nonetheless, you don't seem to be able to step off the platform in any way. It just, everywhere you check seems to be a solid piece. Also, I failed to mention, the moment you all clambered up here, that original hole you clambered through closed shut and is no longer there.
Of course it did.
So no, you do not think that there is anything stalking you, but you do find out that you cannot step off of this platform as everything seems to be a wall, despite what it looks like.
Oh man.
Okay.
Can I take the gem
I
back?
have ideas.
So the fingers are now clasped around it very tightly. But if you are examining it, you find out the yellow looking gem, upon closer, observation, appears to be almost like a hunk of gold rather than a gem. It is cut in such a way, it's very shiny, but it looks like it seems to be almost like a solid hunk of gold cut into like this diamond shape. But the other gems certainly are gems as you had previously thought.
Can I take the gold one?
No, it is also grasped in the fist, but when you touch it, it does feel that has that rough kind of quality of like of gold, and you are certain it really is made of gold, or at least the outside of it is.
Well, what do you think?
Is the gold one, that's the one that I put the bonfire under, right?
Correct.
Is that heating it up any? Is it like softening that gold-like substance any with the intense heat of the bonfire?
No, the bonfire is really only going up to maybe this demonic creature's knees or so. It's not really, the arm is kind of held upwards.
I'm gonna
But it's a
investigate the back
cantrip,
of
so
them.
you could move the bonfire, you know?
I'm gonna move the bonfire. I'm gonna put a bonfire on top of that Dohedra Deca Dudon Donovan
Stop.
Doohickey thing.
The deck again? Okay. Yeah, you can put it over on the deck pentagram. The deck
Decagon?
again? I don't know.
I think it says
Whatever it is.
decagon.
It's a pentagram, but it has 12 points instead of 5. You
I'm
put
lighting
it
the
over...
shape on fire.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish we can't all just do shapes. I'll do shots like Dustin. So is that what you're doing? Just taking shots? So you move it over onto that thing, and I mean, it is a star, but the heat doesn't seem to be doing anything to that either.
No, this.
Man.
Go ahead.
Guys, I'm like 4 seconds from just chipping away at these things with my sword, so
That's
anyone
what
got
I
any
was
that
thinking.
might-
ideas?
Ruin the sword.
It's magic.
All right. So the plate doesn't move. We can't take the gems away.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. Just smash them.
Has anyone checked their butts yet?
I'm gonna
Maybe
grab
there's
my
like a
butt.
button.
What am I checking for?
Not your butt, the statue's
Oh.
butts. Maybe there's like a button or a hole or something.
Well, why would it have to be in the butt?
I don't know. Why would we be in a clear-walled room?
Because it's a challenge.
Exactly.
All right. You feel up the statues. I'm gonna go around the room like a mime and look for doors.
I'm gonna investigate the statue's butts.
I'm grabbing my great axe out, about to smash something. If they don't find anything.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say if you just felt around the whole place,
Yep.
everything appears to feel just like solid stone. Even like if you reach your hand forward, it just hits like a solid wall. And searching, you do find like 4 corners where you might expect them to be, but there's no doors.
But no doors.
Yes, the ceiling is high enough to where like if you leap, it seems to be certainly higher than the last room. It's only 7 feet. You can't like reach it if it is there. It's so high you can't really feel it or see it. We certainly can't see it, but yeah, I don't know. You feel like you were trapped inside this stone chamber.
Is the smoke from the bonfire going in any particular direction, or is it collecting?
So it is going up about 11 feet or so, and then it seems to be collecting. So there, in a way, you can kind of identify where a ceiling might be.
Okay.
And you don't see it like being directed or like sucked into any sort of hole or anything. So there isn't like an immediately obvious path that it's like taking, because the pressure.
Is it smoking us out then?
I think because there's a magical fire, you wouldn't have to worry about that because you can dismiss it at any moment. But you do feel like if you just decide to like take a nap for 8 hours, it probably wouldn't be good for your health.
I'm gonna dismiss the bonfire, and I'm going to use frostbite and try and put frost on that symbol.
On which one?
The Dohedro.
The star thing. Okay, so is that like dismiss the bonfire?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you dismiss the bonfire, there still is light. It does seem like the sunlight from whatever enchantment on the walls does seem to be providing light to this room. And yeah, you're able to cast that spell on there, but once again, it doesn't seem to have any effect.
Okay, I'm out of ideas. Smash him.
All right. Swinging my great axe at this thing.
Which one?
The one in the center.
The one with the flame tongue and the fire gem?
Yeah.
Gold, red,
Cool.
or blue?
I guess it is worth noting that the small glow of the gem is providing light as well, but not nearly as much as the sunlight. All right, go ahead and roll an attack.
Did that go?
That did go.
Swapping windows.
A 19.
Oh, and I can click for damage?
Yep.
Cool. That's cool. This never works for me on my computer. 7 damage, I guess.
All right. So you swing against it and you feel like you just hit a statue with your axe. It does not chip it, however. It bounces right off, but it does make a spark. And when it makes a spark, the gem will seem to react to that bit of heat and start glowing like and it's like giving off a lot of light, and then it's just like making this humming sound as if there's some sort of energy trying to break free from it. The eyes on that statue also stop glowing as the glowing of this gem intensifies in response to you hitting it and causing that spark.
Belial. The frost, do the cold on the blue. Cold on the blue.
All right, here goes nothing. Frostbite on the blue one.
All right, so you cast Frostbite on the blue one, and it responds similarly. The blue gem begins to glow, and the eye stops glowing, and it is once again giving off this humming sound as it begins to glow that bright blue light.
People watch gold.
And then there's a gold one.
Do you have any gold spells?
What's the gold one? Let's see here.
The gold one is... Let me make sure I read this for you correctly.
He's got a flail.
Yes. He has the long snout, the curved horns that go backwards above its head, and is holding this gold gem, and then it's brandishing a large flail.
Is his mouth open?
Yeah, it seems to be like in a mid snarl.
You put a gold piece in his mouth.
Okay. Yeah, you put a gold piece in its mouth, and the moment the gold touches the statue, that golden gem begins to glow as well. It seems that the elements of gold, fire, and ice were enough to activate all three statues, and the gems are still glowing. It does not release them. They stay clasped in their hand, but that 12-pointed star, the dodecagram, begins to glow as well. It begins to glow brightly. And the ice that was on it seems to vanish.
You first.
Okay. All right, sure, cool. I'm a double jump, like into it again, and see, like onto that star.
Jump onto it?
Yes.
Okay, you jump onto it. There is a flash, and the two of them will see you vanish.
Sweet.
I'm gonna bunny hop right onto it.
Oh gods, you're being vaporized.
Yeah, Ryle, you see the two of your friends vaporized. What do you do?
I'm just gonna facepalm and
You know it's just going to
alone
clone
again.
you. It's just going to clone you and destroy your original body.
Dr.
You jump
McCoy
on
of
as
magical transportation.
you jump on as well, and you, in a flash, you reappear, and you were standing in a, I don't dare say, I wouldn't call it a room again. It's similar to the last place in that you feel like you are outside. You're not within four walls, let's put it that way. However, it is very different and juxtaposed against the bright light. This place seems to be completely black. It seems to be extremely dark. It seems like perhaps it is the middle of the night. But it is not cold outside. In fact, it's extremely hot, well over 100 degrees. You appear in a very odd place, standing on
we're in Georgia.
Yeah, we're in Georgia. Standing on a glowing platform that is identical to the one you stepped on to teleport here. The room you were standing in is about twice as large as the two smaller rooms that you've been in so far. So this one, you seem to be like maybe 40 by 40 feet. But certainly nonetheless strange. Immediately you find that the air in the room is very hot. It's well over 100 degrees, and even trying to breathe seems suddenly laborious. The floor of this room is completely covered, however, in fresh green grass, complete with flourishing flowers and even some weeds. The walls around the room depict a horrifyingly realistic hellscape. There's a black night sky. There are volcanoes in the distance that seem to be actively bursting. I mean, any angle, any direction you look, you see literally a couple dozen volcanoes in mid eruption. There are dancing pillars of flame that seem to be hundreds of feet tall, just out in the distance, in these vast deserts. You see also in the distance these kaiju-like skeletal creatures skulking about. They seem just like the pillars of flames, hundreds of feet tall, with spiked shoulders and horns, and they just seem to be these skeletal creatures stalking around as tall as mountains. The scenes on the walls are lifelike and they are moving. It feels like, just like the last room, that you are literally just in the middle of this place. It seems like you're peering out into some other extremely terrible world.
Oh, well, this is nice.
I don't like it.
And it's probably like 105 degrees, so not hot enough to cause you any harm, but like you're sweating, and it is a little tougher to breathe, and you wouldn't want to be here for too long. However, this grass that you're standing on is fresh and full of life and doesn't seem to be wilting, despite the conditions. What would you like to do?
So the grass is in the pedestal. The grass and the thing that we're standing on are the only things on the ground, or they're like.
So yeah, you're standing on a 40 by 40 foot patch of grass, and everything around that is just like stone and desert and mountains and this very strange world where the sky is black, yet you can see a burning sun off in the distance that doesn't seem to be providing any light to this hellscape.
Do we have walls? Please tell me we have walls around us.
It doesn't look like you can see walls. Do you want to attempt to exit or touch them or step off the grass?
Yeah, I'm gonna step over and run my hand along the walls.
Yeah, you touch it and it feels solid once again. However, this doesn't feel rough like stone. It feels smooth like metal or glass.
Okay, well, at least we have walls around us again, so there's that.
Right, but it's hot.
But
and it's just grass?
Yeah, there's grass and some flowers and even some weeds sprouting up. It seems like a little chunk of prairie land just kind of in the middle of this hellscape is the best way to describe it. But as Ryle is wait, who was the one that was, it was Ryle, right? That was investigating the walls.
Mm-hmm.
As Ryle's investigating the walls, you suddenly spot something in the distance on the wall, moving very quickly towards you. You see some bright glowing flame come out from behind one of the many mountains in this area, and some sort of black and orange thing that once again is like on fire is charging towards you. It is moving hundreds of feet every couple seconds, and it is coming at you at extremely fast speeds. You realize as it's getting closer and closer to you, it seems to be a very large, probably 12 feet tall, demonic looking horse with black skin, glowing red eyes, horrendous smoking flames spew from its neck on this fiery burning mane that goes all the way down its head, down its back into its tail. There's also flames sprouting from its hooves and as well as its shoulder joints. And it looks as if it might come crashing right through the wall. I mean, it is charging at you with ferocity. Suddenly it stops just inches from the edge of this grass barrier, and it rears up on its hind legs, letting out a large except it sounds even much more horrific that and deep, and smoke starts pouring out of its nostrils and out of its mouth as it rears back on its legs like this in a very violent manner. After doing that, you see it actually lift its hooves up again and slam them against the wall. You notice at that moment it doesn't seem to be able to pass by this barrier as it's slamming these hooves against this invisible wall. Once again, with malicious intent. It looks like it very much wants to crush you all with those hooves. And after realizing that there's some sort of barrier between the party and itself, this fiery horse beast will begin to chort and neigh, snorting and huffing deep dark plumes of smoke and flame from its nostrils. It suddenly will then rapidly dash in circles. It is just running around this 40-foot room in a fury. It seems to be extremely angered by your presence.
I'm gonna knock on the invisible barrier really hard and just start shouting, "Hey, big guy! Hey, big guy! Calm down! Calm down! Hey, come on! Calm down!"
When you
Or-
start,
Or don't engage.
what kind of you only can talk to small animals as a what kind of gnome are you? Or you're not a gnome, you're a halfling, never mind. So you're nothing. I'm just kidding. But you go up against the no, gnomes are just the coolest ever. But you go up against the wall, and when you start like motioning to it and speaking to it, it stops its like circular charge and immediately runs over to where you are, and it will just start banging those
Advantage
hooves
in a
on it,
magic
like
item.
an animal in a zoo, just inches from your face, but it just can't hurt you.
I'm just gonna keep
Britt
talking and
donated.
yelling.
So Britt DeWeese gave us a donation, advantage, and a magic item.
Sweet.
Sweet.
So Adam,
Thank you.
Pretty.
Adam, you tell me, since you're listening in, is that magic item one for every player or just one magic item?
Maybe it's a get out of hell free card.
Yeah, is it a get out of hell free card? You know all the terrible things you did in life? It can all be reversed with this get out of hell free card.
Just get out of hell free.
Oh, I think he fell back asleep.
Yeah, he's napping. He's doing an Adam.
Because I always said alchemy jugs for everyone.
Who wants mayo?
I will let all three of you get any uncommon magical item or lower. So you can do a common, an uncommon, or a mundane magical item, as long as it comes from real Wizards of the Coast material.
Okay.
I'm good with it. While you take 2 minutes to look for that, I'm going to run to the restroom real quick.
Okay.
Oh man,
Crap.
so many options.
Right?
Yeah, where you guys looking at that?
If you're in D&D Beyond, if you go to Equipment and then click on Manage Equipment next to the search bar, you can filter it and look at a list. Because I clicked the magical checkbox and now I'm just looking through everything.
Gotcha.
I've always wanted a bag of tricks.
Right.
I think I selected to allow everything, so it's not just like official stuff. So I'm not sure. I might need to go back and uncheck that box. Let me see. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm wondering if I should get the Helm of Telepathy now to try and talk to the flaming steed.
Mm. Blue is rare and green is uncommon.
Ooh. And the Lantern of Revealing might come in handy.
The what now?
Lantern of Revealing?
Uncommon are the green items, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wait, what happened?
All right. Did you find any, or are you still working?
Give me like 2 minutes. There's so many good options.
I know. There's a
Right,
The
lot.
lantern, the Lantern of Revealing is really calling my name in this instance.
I hope I didn't miss any. So it's just been Britt and Johnny, right?
Yeah, I think
Cool.
so.
Recently,
Just make sure I
yeah.
haven't missed any.
Right.
Yeah, those of you listening, if you can't afford to donate, or you already have donated or whatever, retweet, send out, let everybody know we're streaming, let everybody know we still have a couple more hours on this, about 5.5 more hours. You can do your part without having to spend actual money.
Right. I have taken my wand of magic missiles. 'Cause I want
Wand
to
of magic
espouse you.
missiles. Is that
That's
uncommon?
It is.
Cool. So while you're looking, what do you guys want to do? What do you
Right.
why don't you make a perception check for me? Because I'm sure all of your attention, the three of you, are
I'm-
focused on this creature.
Actually, I'm focused on the grass and
Okay.
the flowers. I am searching this 40-foot square of grass for like little rings in the ground, for trapdoors, for stuff that doesn't belong. Or wait, that was perception. Should I do investigation?
You can. You notice that just instantly, especially for 18. You notice that these flowers specifically are honeysuckles.
Okay.
The weeds are just some sort of nondescript weed, and the grass is just, it's a bright green grass. So certainly not crabgrass or anything, but it's just, there's not really much to perceive here. There doesn't seem to be any, like doors or holes in the ground or any sort of oddities. It just seems like grass, other than just that little stone block that you had all teleported in on. Also, when all three of you teleported in, it stopped glowing, and it just looks like a little piece of concrete on the ground. However, if you were to examine it again, you actually do notice there's like a little etching in the stone.
Is it the same 12-pointed star?
Well, the 12-pointed star is on there, but they're like lower than that, there seems to be some symbols etched into the stone as well, and it seems to be written in common.
Cool. What does it say?
Well, the letters look common, the word doesn't. You see T N E M H S I R U O N inscribed into the stone. You need
F
that
is
again?
in Frank?
No F, sorry. So T as in turtle, then N, then E, then M, then H, then S.
As in snake?
Yep.
Okay.
Then I, then R, U, O, and then another N. So that's what you see.
Oh, that's nourishment backwards. Get food. I'm gonna put a ration on it.
So where are you going to put the ration at?
On the 12-pointed star, like portal place. Like
Okay.
where we bamfed into.
Okay. Yeah, you go and you put food on that 12-pointed star, but nothing seems to happen. However, you notice that the horse stops acting quite so violent and runs over to the edge of the wall closest to you and starts pawing its hoof against the wall.
Well, how do I...
It doesn't seem as violent as before, but certainly directed at you.
I'm gonna walk over there and try and shove a ration through the invisible barrier to it.
Good call. Don't lose an arm.
Sorry. Yeah, you grab this ration and you put your hand up against the wall, and your hand slaps against the solid part of the wall, but the food seems to go right through, and it lands on the grass, and the horse is going to actually run over to it, and it'll start sniffing at it, and it'll begin to eat it. And when that happens, suddenly the flames on the horse die out, and you'll see it beginning to just eat the food. And as the flames die out, the sky starts to lighten up and the sun begins to give off light. And this entire area around you begins to normalize. These volcanoes seem to crumble into the ground, as do these large kaiju-like skeleton creatures. Forests and flowers and trees and grass begin to sprout from the ground, like the creation part of the first Narnia book. And suddenly you will just see the black, burning, charred looking skin of this horse begin to drip off of it like some sort of goo, just dripping into the ground and then disappearing as a rainbow-like horn sprouts from its head, as well as two rainbow-colored wings. And you are looking at what appears to be not only a unicorn, but a Pegasus at the same time. And it will look at you all with these glowing green eyes, and in your head you will all hear, "Thank you for your kindness." And as it begins to tromp away, you see flowers sprouting everywhere that its hooves hit the ground, and the thing will fly away into the sky. And as that happens, this hellscape becomes a rather Eden-like fantasy world. It becomes absolutely gorgeous. You feel like maybe you're peering into the Feywild itself. And then a large black door will suddenly materialize in the center of the room, directly on top of the teleportation pad. The door has doesn't have any details. It's just a solid black door. You could literally walk around it on all sides. There's a ruby red doorknob. The doorknob seems to be shaped not unlike a dragon's head.
Well, that bodes well.
I like that horse better.
But it was a unicorn.
Horse. It was a
That is
pegacorn. Pick one already. Just be a unicorn or a Pegasus. That's just being greedy. He's a greedy corn. The hell horse was way cooler. Anyway, let's get out of here. You first.
Me first. I'll open the door.
You gonna open it?
Yep.
All right. You open the door. And now I'm moving you on Roll20 to another screen. As you open the heavy black door, you are quite contrastingly greeted by a sudden gust of very cold wind. In fact, the Arctic howl of the wind is so strong that it takes effort to keep the door from being flung open by this sudden icy gale. The room is decidedly larger than any of the previous rooms that you've been in, and it appears to be about 80 square feet in size. It does seem to be getting larger every time you go up. The walls, ceiling, and floor are all made out of these giant stone, like cliff-like blocks that rise out of the ground, and all of them are coated in a thick layer of frost and ice. Where you are standing seems to be on top of this raised sort of platform. So can our viewers...
At the top?
Yeah, our viewers can see the map. So you are at the bottom of this map where those stairs are that seem to be going downward. When you enter this ice-covered chamber, you realize you're standing on a cliffside that's about 30 feet off the ground. So once again, everything's covered in ice. You're about 30 feet off the ground. And there's large ice-covered stalactites that dangle from the ceilings above. And when you attempt to move any further, if you take a step, you find the ground to be extremely slippery and difficult to walk on. It seems to take a lot of focus to not slip on it, so it's going to be considered rough terrain. Across the large room is another cliff that appears to be just as high as the one you're standing on. However, you don't see any stairs leading up to that cliff the way that there are stairs leading up to the one that you stand on. And you can see on top of that cliff some sort of large stone apparatus. A large stone staircase leads from your cliff down to the floor below, where you see in the center of this room, just chilling right there in the center of the room, is a large ice block. The ice block seems to be about 10 by 10 feet, while the squares on the ground are 5 by 5 feet. So it seems to be taking up about 4 of these squares. And let's see. To the southeast and southwest of the room, you see 2 more cliffs. They are both also about 30 feet off the ground. But there, once again, doesn't seem to be like a way over to them. There's no stairs leading to them. There doesn't appear to be any ladders. You could probably try to climb the side of them, but it's icy, so it'll definitely be more difficult. But each of them hold a stone plinth, and on top of the plinth, you can see these mechanical levers that are sticking right out of the stone. What would you like to do? Oh, I'm sorry. There's also 4 pillars in the middle of the room, and they are about 40 feet tall, maybe a little bit taller, and they seem to be going all the way up to the jagged, icy ceiling. And there's those 4 pillars as well that are surrounding the ice block in the center.
I'm gonna
Is
drop
there
a
a thing
bonfire.
sticking?
Hmm?
I'm gonna drop a bonfire right next to the giant ice block.
You and your bonfires.
Okay, so you're just going to put a bonfire right here?
We found a puzzle. Let's burn it.
When in doubt, burn it out.
Hey, Trogdor.
All right, so
How
you're going to
tall's the ice
burninate the
cube?
countryside. The ice cube seems to be maybe like 15 by 15 feet.
And
So
how tall
actually,
is
it's
this
a little
ledge?
bit
You
bigger
said
than I might
30?
have put it. Yeah, the ledges are about 30 feet tall. So you feel like you could possibly climb on top of it, and then it'd be easy to kind of get over. So you like this bonfire? Are you like, where are you putting it, on the thing or just next to it, or like what do you want to do?
As close as I can get, like right up against it. Like the flames are very obviously just smack on it.
All right, so you put these flames on it, and suddenly it will. You see that right where it's up against starts to melt a little bit.
Finally, a puzzle I can figure out. Fire!
And as it starts to melt, it'll then actually start to jiggle and shake a little bit, and it lets out a weird like gurgling sound, and you notice that it's actually a frozen gelatinous cube.
That's not a good
Oh,
sound.
gosh. Oh, gosh.
Finally, a puzzle that I get us killed on.
So
Cool.
the cube thaws out, and now there is this fire is burning what has been revealed to be a gelatinous cube, and it will slide
Good going.
over just a little bit away from the fire, and then you'll actually see like a
Phenomenal.
piece of it like go oblong for a second, and then the goo slaps down on top of the fire like a tidal wave, completely extinguishing it. And we'll roll initiative.
Cool.
Cool.
Good job.
In.
That was a good
Thanks.
one.
Thanks. I hate it.
Okay.
Did you get mine?
Do we need to have the roll off?
Yeah, so we got a 10, and a 15. So who has a higher initiative?
I got. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I have +5.
+1 initiative.
All right, so +5 goes first. So it looks like we're going to have Tanya go first.
No.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Dustin
then
goes
Tanya.
first. Dustin and
Yeah.
Tanya, and then the gelatinous cube is last. It got a 1, a 5 minus 4.
Jeez.
And now that it is a little more translucent and jiggly, you see inside it is a couple unfortunates who might not have quite made it to the Modris Blood Sports Arena, with some skeletons and swords and things still floating inside of its body,
It's nice.
frozen and preserved in its acidic form. So, yeah.
So my turn.
Yep.
So as a bonus action, I can rage. I'm gonna go ahead and use rage.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you rage out.
+2. Do I have to click?
What are you so mad about?
So I'm gonna click
That
that.
somebody woke up the gelatinous.
Yeah, who are you mad at?
Attack. Is that gonna add? I don't know if this like adds my rage to it. I clicked. Or do I have to click this? We'll see what it does.
That is interesting. I've never had anyone find out it's a cube without touching it first.
You underestimate the power of fire.
You normally walk up and just are like, I'm going to push the ice block and solve the puzzle. And then they fall into a gelatinous cube.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my frenzy attack. So, and I also have extra attack, so I attack twice.
Okay.
Instead of once, and then for frenzy, I'm trying to find this stuff real quick. Frenzy, while raging, I can frenzy. I can make a single weapon attack as a bonus action. I already used it to rage, correct? So never mind. So I'll just do the 2 attacks.
Okay.
1, 2.
Let me switch back to roll 20. 24 and a 20. Those both hit.
Nice. And click.
Picturing you like
and click.
skidding down the stairs with a big axe and just.
Did you add a +1 to those because they're +1 magical weapons?
No, I did not.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if it's adding my rage damage or not. Like, I can't see that. It's like not telling me what I rolled or anything. Oh, here it is. I rolled a D12 plus 3 damage. So I think that's right. Plus 3, plus 2. Wait, no, plus 3. So both of those should have plus 2, I think, for raging. Is that correct?
Okay, so total of 19 damage. So are you just right up melee range on this
Yep.
thing?
I'm just right up on it.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Bunny hop next to it and slice and dice.
All right, well, I'll just grab the random token of a dwarf, and that's you. So you're that dwarf. You're up against the cube. It is, like 3 times your size, a little bit bigger, and you start slashing at it. So you do deal 19 damage to it. However, when you do so, I need you to make a strength check, because when you feel your sword slash into it, pulling away is a little bit harder, and you feel like it's like starting to try to pull you inside.
Of course it is.
A
Yeah.
14, so you managed to pull your arm back just in time, but it certainly was trying to absorb you into that, and it was very strong.
And that's my
Anything
turn.
else?
No, that's my turn.
All right, we're gonna move on. So Tanya's turn.
All right. How do I select it? Well, like to say, I would like to use my wand of magic missiles. Thank you, chat. To fire at this thing, but I'm not sure how to use a wand. In Roll20. I mean, D&D Beyond.
Make sure it's equipped in your equipment, because that should show up under your actions
It's under. It says it's
for
active.
spells.
Oh, do I have to look for spells? I don't know.
It might be under there.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So I guess it just does damage, right? Oh, sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, I would like to use 4 charges at this thing.
You're muted.
I am.
Oh, I said 4 charges. Okay, how much does that deal?
I guess I have to get it again. Four. All right. So I've used 4 charges. I don't know how
5,
much-
8, 12, 15 force damage.
Yes.
Okay, so you fire that magical force damage, and it it all seems to be rippling into the side of this cube. It'll suddenly go up into like a sort of like rhombus shape before returning to its cube-like shape. And it definitely was affected by it. But being a cube, it doesn't have much of an expression.
That will end my turn.
All right. So that's another 15. So 15 plus 19 so far. Okay. So then we move on. And what are you going to do? I think it's Ryle's turn.
Ryle's going to look at it and go, oh, crap. And he's going to run over right next to this pillar here.
Okay.
And
when you run over to the pillar, you see sticking out of it a lever.
Well, right now I'm going to ignore that because there's a giant gelatinous cube.
It's just something you definitely would see upon being directly next to it. That's all.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use heat metal on one of the objects inside the giant gelatinous cube. Also, did he get damaged by my bonfire?
At first, when it first like thawed it, but not when it extinguished it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should I roll damage for the bonfire damage?
It wasn't very much.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then
but I did put some damage down.
Second level heat metal.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely like a shield and sword and stuff inside of it for sure.
And so he's going to take 7 fire damage. And then until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on each of your subsequent turns to cause this damage again.
Okay.
So that will be my action for this turn.
All right. How close are you to it?
I'm way over here.
Okay. I'm just going to pull a random token so that you have the representation. You are this bugbear. Or hobgoblin, rather. There you go. Okay. And are you done?
Yep.
Now we move to the gelatinous cube. The gelatinous cube is going to move forward to try to engulf the closest creature to it, which at this moment is Bugs. Bugs, this thing is literally 3 times your size. It is not only a gelatinous cube, but it is the largest gelatinous cube you have likely ever seen. It is starting to slide forward, and it will attempt to engulf. So it has an ability. It's going to use this action to pull you inside the cube. You must make a strength check.
All right, and I actually have advantage on strength checks while
Okay.
raging. I forgot to do that, but so I'll do 1, 2.
All right, 24 is going to save. So you feel this thing latch around you. These strange, I guess, pseudopod type things will like come out of it, like these weird tendrils made of this acidic goo, and they wrap around your arm. So when they wrap around your arm, it is still going to actually attempt to attack you, and that's going to be an 18 to hit. Does that hit?
Yes.
All right, so you will still take 2d6 acid damage, 7 acid damage when the contact starts to burn your arm. But due to your save, it does not suck you in and engulf you completely. So you do manage to avoid being sucked inside. And then we will move on back to the top of initiative.
Oh yeah, that's me. So I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. So I did I do reckless attack? I did not. I'm gonna do reckless attack this time. I get advantage on my melee attacks, but I also have advantage on me until my next turn. So here's the first hit with advantage. Oh, I can't hear you, Jeremy.
Oh, sorry. The 22 will hit.
And then here's the second hit.
An 18 will hit.
And then I'm also going to do that frenzy attack. So let me read that again real quick. Frenzy. As a bonus action, I can make another attack. Okay. So I just get one more.
All right.
And does that one hit?
Yeah. Is that a natural? Is that a 26 critical hit?
I don't know.
Yeah. It says 1d20
Oh no, that
plus
was just.
6.
Yeah, you got a D20. So when you hit click, it should automatically double roll damage for you. So you just hit that click button on all of them, and it'll roll damage for you.
Okay.
So the 22 hits, the 18 hits, and the 26 hits.
22 hit.
Okay, so
Done.
24, 32 damage.
Nice.
32 damage. That's pretty good.
Turn it into
So
a snow cone.
yeah, you start slashing this thing, and bits, especially the frozen parts, are getting cut off, and then it'll like jiggle and then reform into a cube. But it seems like it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and the other bits are just laying on the ground and kind of like a frozen slush. It's like a partially frozen cube of Jello. And it is certainly getting smaller the more that you hack away at it, because it keeps trying to recontain itself into a cube every few seconds, but the cube is just made of less stuff. So, anything else?
That was it.
Cool. Then we move on. So I believe it is Ryle or Fidget's turn, right?
Yes. And Fidget, seeing it get smaller and seeing it in the capable hands of her companions, is going to go over here and pull the lever, Kronk.
Oh, you're gonna just pull it. Sorry, which
Yeah,
one? This
I'm
one?
gonna. Yep, right over there. I'm gonna
All right. So
like,
I need
hide behind that pillar and go.
everyone to make a
Wrong lever.
everyone except for Fidget to make a save. And
Oh,
that
crap.
save is going
Wrong
to
lever, Kronk.
So as soon as you pull it, a large type howling sound emits from all three of the other pillars, and all the pillars except for the one that you pulled the lever on emit a blast of ice. And all three creatures, so including the gelatinous cube, anything within 30 feet of those pillars, which is everything except for the pillar you're standing behind, essentially, gets blasted with this Arctic cold air. So I need the three of you, or the two of you plus the gelatinous cube, to make a dexterity saving throw.
Sorry.
And I can see this, right? So I actually have an
You get
advantage
hit
on
too.
Dex.
Okay, yeah.
On effects I can see.
Yeah, you can see it. It's like a rush of cold air.
Okay. So I guess I'll click it twice. What's this? +1. I have to keep swapping back. I got a 16.
16. Okay.
And 8.
An 8. And then let's see what the cube will get. Probably not a lot because it's a -4. A 0. A 4 minus 4 is a 0. So that's pretty bad. So it fails as well. So the 8 and the 0 fail. And the other one's good. The other roll is pretty good. So only the 8, only the 0 and the 4. And let's see what it, or the 0 and the 8. So let's see what it deals. I only wrote this. Don't expect me to know what it does.
Okay.
Well, I just have to make sure it's the right thing. Yeah. So that's a lot. So anyone that failed is going to take 3d6 ice damage, and anyone who succeeded takes half that. So 8. So 8 damage to those that failed, and 4 to those that succeeded.
Did a 16 succeed?
Whose side are you on?
16 does succeed.
Don't touch levers.
I had to.
I'm right next to one. Did you see me touch it? No.
When that ice blast erupts, it'll suddenly clear, and the gelatinous cube is frozen solid, and you're no longer in initiative.
Nice.
I turned it off.
What's you said to jump
Congratulations.
onto the ledge, baby?
I. mm,
Can we push him?
Do you want to touch it?
Yeah, he's frozen, right?
I mean,
We don't
For
know
how
how
long?
frozen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try and touch it since I'm right next to it. Since he's
Okay.
frozen, I'm kind of like double checking.
All right, you touch it, and it's like a
Don't-
frozen block of ice.
I'm gonna see if I can push it towards that ledge.
Sure, go ahead and make a strength check.
Would that be advantage too? Still, since I'm raging.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see how long that lasts too. I don't think.
this is a save, not a check.
Oh, it only lasts a minute.
That's not so bad.
Um,
That's still 10 rounds, but we're not in
but I got
combat anymore.
19.
And 19 strength. All right, you push it.
19 to push it up north.
All right, you so you push it, and it moves like 3 inches. It's really, 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 really heavy. Even after being reduced to where it's now only about 8 feet tall from all the melting and damage. You can still barely move it.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and can I move this? I don't know. I'm gonna like move as far as I can up north to that ledge up top.
Okay. So you move all the way up towards the ledge, and yeah, it looks like it's about 30 feet tall. It's made of ice. It looks like, like a jagged rock cliff covered in ice. So if you slip, probably cut your hand a little bit or something, and it looks very difficult to climb. Difficult and dangerous, but not impossible.
Yeah. I think that's as far as I could probably move.
All right. So yeah, we're not initiative, but yeah, we'll give everyone a chance. What do the rest of you want to do?
I'm gonna use Cure Wounds on myself because
Sure.
I have frostbite from someone hitting a lever.
Yeah, you're only
Um,
level 5, so you probably took a pretty
someone-
heavy chunk of damage.
Woke it up in the first place. Blaming me.
I heal my 9.
I mean, one does not simply take the bonfire cantrip and not use it constantly.
Oh, I can't remember. All right. Fidget would like to go to the here and try to climb here.
Okay. You
But
can
I
definitely
have-
move over there. What are you gonna do?
I have climbing stuff.
Oh, sweet.
I have a
Oh, you got some. So you're gonna hammer in
A
some
hammer,
pitons, and you got
yeah.
a rope and
I
all that.
do.
Wonderful. Yeah, you're level
I'm
5,
a-
so I'd assume you'd each have like Dungeoneering Pack and basic common items from the
I'm
Player's
a
Handbook.
Mission Impossible this thing. And
Rad. Why don't you make? You can either do an acrobatics or a survival check with advantage.
well, let's see. I will do acrobatics. With advantage.
16.
Yeah.
16 is pretty good. So it takes you a little bit, like literally like 2 or 3 actual minutes to climb a little bit, hammer in a piton, go to the top, tie your rope, hammer in another one. It does seem like even though it's only 30 feet, it is very difficult to climb. But you do manage to climb it, and it takes a little time, but you get to the top. And when you get to the top, you find a stone plinth with a lever sticking out of it. The lever looks mechanical.
Huh. I'm gonna call down to the other, like, I found a lever. Should I pull it?
Have you learned nothing?
I'm asking.
No.
I don't know. Maybe those levers are different. They're up higher. Maybe. I'd
Maybe
say
they
yeah.
open the floor below us and drop us into a spiky pit of death. Death.
I vote yes.
I'm gonna wrap a rope around this pillar and wrap it around myself and just kind of tie it like a little tight so that if I am gonna be the floor drops out from under me or like a hole in space and time opens up to suck me through or something, I'm secured.
You're gonna grab what?
roping myself to this pillar.
Okay,
For
that's
protection.
funny. That's funny. Okay.
All right. Well, then I'm going to pull the lever, Kronk.
Are you just like pulling it towards you?
Well, I'm gonna check it out. and
So
see
you look
which
at
way
it, it looks like a
goes.
joystick. Like it can move in any four cardinal directions.
Really?
North, east, west, south.
I'm gonna goofy foot it. I'm gonna pull south.
All right. So you pull it south, and suddenly, from all four pillars and the two skulls that are these large skull statues that are beside this weird mechanism on this other cliff, they all begin to just shoot out an Arctic wind. The Arctic wind is extremely cold and extremely strong, and everyone that is below the 30-foot threshold, so the gelatinous cube as well as the two, are going to be flung southward as this Arctic cold air pushes everyone that direction. However,
Sorry.
one of our friends had some insight and has secured themselves to a pillar, so they are not going anywhere. However, the ones that are not secured, so the I guess that would be bugs as well as the frozen gelatinous cube, are going to be pushed southward. Bugs, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I thought you meant the things were shooting out from the pillars.
Well, and these skull things up here.
Okay.
So everyone gets pushed, basically.
Oh wait, but I'm down below the ledge, right? Or is it gonna like?
Yeah, it pushes everyone. The only person that wouldn't be affected is Tanya's character, who's standing up here,
Yeah.
Fidget. So you make a Constitution saving throw to see if you can hold your ground.
I told you not to pull it.
All right,
18.
so you manage to hold your ground as this Arctic wind is pushed. Maybe it is because you're so close to the cliffside. And this gelatinous cube is suddenly slammed all the way down. It slams up against the bottom of the stairway before coming to a halt. But the two of you are unmoved between being tied to a pillar and then your awesome rabbit like stance. I don't know. You're like a
See,
Redwall rabbit. You're just like a real warrior.
I will definitely put it back to neutral when I see this happen.
Yeah, you put it to neutral and the wind stops.
Hmm.
I'm gonna reach over and activate the lever on my pillar while I'm tied to it.
Okay. When you do that, Arctic wind bursts from the other three pillars, and I need Bugs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Jesus, guys.
The 20. Okay, 20's pretty
Nice.
good. 20's pretty good.
Man, this little bunny's pretty tough.
Yeah, he is. He only takes half of that. He only takes two ice damage. And then
Okay, so
after a few seconds it stops. So it
levers
erupts.
are bad.
Well, I guess. Another layer of frost covers the already frozen gelatinous cube. And I'm not sure why Tanya's character became Chimungus.
All right, we're not in initiative right now, right?
You're not in initiative, nope.
Okay.
If anything, the thing is more frozen now.
I'm gonna try and climb up this little cliff here.
Okay, go ahead. And are you going to use any sort of climbing kit or anything like that?
I don't think I have anything.
Okay, then just make either an athletics or survival check, or acrobatics, depending on the way you flavor it. Plus, you can jump.
I'm sorry, would you
'Cause
say
you're a rabbit.
Athletic or
Athletics, acrobatics, or survival.
I'm gonna do athletics.
Okay.
Do I click it? Click.
15. So, do you want to go ahead and do your leap as well to see how high you can get before having to climb, or are you just going to start from the bottom and?
Yeah, so I'll do Alright, I guess I'll just type it in /roll d12. That's how many feet I can jump extra.
All right, so you jump 7 feet in the air, latch onto the side, and then you start climbing this thing with like pickaxes or something, and you like
I do
are
have
just
hand axes. Maybe that.
yeah, you're like this awesome rabbit who hangs out with two halflings to make yourself feel tall, and you climb this wall, and it's pretty tough. And you know, like you probably hurt yourself a little bit, not enough to take damage, but you can definitely see how like one wrong move, you could slash open your hand or something and slip and take some falling damage, and it wouldn't be great. But you make it to the top, and when you get to the top, what you see is these two skull-shaped statues that are about 3 feet wide and maybe 3 feet tall. They seem to be what were emitting some of the Arctic gusts from before, when Fidget had activated the lever. But there's also a strange device in the center of this cliff that you were standing on. So let's see. Yeah, it looks similar once again to the portal with the 12 pointed star on it, except that there seems to be a wall behind this, and in the wall is a statue of some sort of demon looking creature with its hands outstretched, and where its hands are, there's a slot in the wall, and that slot looks like it can fit some sort of disc shaped object.
Gonna put a piece of gold in there.
Okay, you put a gold coin in there, and it seems like it's bigger than that, like maybe close to the size of a dinner plate.
Well, heck, I don't think I have any dinner plates.
What do you see up there?
There's like a slot up here. It looks like it wants some money or something super big though, like a plate. Do you got any plates?
I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Do you think maybe it would fit a shield, like one that's stuck in a frozen gelatinous cube?
That's a good idea.
You can examine the cube if you want to. Are you still tied to this post?
Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere until she gets away from all these.
You're like Odysseus trying to brave the sirens, willing to go down with the ship. Okay. Yeah, I mean, from where you're standing, the cube has been layered and dusted with another layer of ice, so you can't really see inside of it. The shield that was inside, it might fit in it, but you'd probably need to look a little bit closer to see.
I wish I'd remembered that I heated the metal.
Do what?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, is the metal still heating?
Yeah, it would still have been taking damage this whole time because of the heat metal.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. If that's the case, it would thaw out within seconds.
Oh, never mind.
Well, it's thawing out, but it's also taking damage. So
it's like thawing and then freezing, thawing and then freezing. But yeah, since you brought that up, we'll go ahead and deal some damage to it and then thaw it out. So roll your heat metal damage.
Nice.
I mean, you did activate the ice things again, so it would have frozen again. But after a couple seconds, yeah, it certainly would have been affected once more. 13 fire damage. All right, so suddenly this thing thaws out, and then you see the red glowing shield and sword inside of it, damaging it, and it just begins to like slowly shrink as it's being burned. And now it's actually super small, only about 5 feet tall. So you do feel like you dealt quite a bit of damage to it.
Nice.
What else would you like to do? So it immediately enters initiative again. So now that it's not thawed, you're all in initiative again. We'll just keep the same initiative. Mm-hmm. And what do you want to do? I think that goes to Bugs.
To Bugs.
Let's see. Actions. I got a javelin. I think I'll throw javelin. Can I reach that? Yeah, I think I can reach that. Am I still raging, or do you think a minute passed?
I would say a minute has passed, because I said it took about 3 minutes for Fidget to climb.
Okay. So just I think I clicked it. Did I click it?
You did.
A 10.
A 10. And what were you trying to do? Throw your javelin? Yeah.
Threw a
So you
javelin.
throw. Well, here's the deal 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 feet away. Doesn't the javelin have disadvantage at 40 feet?
It says it. I think it's got disadvantage anything closer than 30 feet, and then anything beyond 120, maybe. I don't know. It
Nope.
says
So
30
the way
slash
that.
120.
Okay. So it means you have a range of 30, or from 40 to one, from 31 to 120, you can still throw it, but you have disadvantage.
Gotcha.
So disadvantage. But you can roll. So just roll again. All right. So I don't know if you know this, but Gelatinous Cube doesn't have a super great AC. And you fling this javelin, and you do manage to hit it even with a 10. So this javelin goes stabbing right into the side of this cube. And go ahead and roll your damage. 5. So 5 is actually enough to kill this because of how much you've whittled it down. This javelin goes flying into it, and then it just erupts into some slushy like liquid. And now laying on the ground is a skeleton, a sword, a shield, and a large round object that seems kind of like a medallion. It appears to be about the size of a dinner plate.
Nice. Hey, that looks like it might fit this slot up here.
I would like to start climbing down from where I am.
Okay.
So that I can.
Yeah, you still have the rope and the pitons and everything kind of secured, so you can climb down pretty easily. Certainly easier than climbing up.
Yes.
Yeah,
While
you
she's
managed to get
climbing
down.
I want to roll this guy for gear. I want to check him out, see if he has anything I can take.
Sure. So would you deactivate your heat metal?
Yeah.
Okay, so the shield stops glowing, the sword stops glowing. It just kind of appears to be like a regular short sword and a shield. I mean, you could use the shield and increase your AC by 2 if you're able to wield a shield.
I am able to wield a shield.
Sure, if you'd like to
I
do
already
that,
have
you can.
one, so
Okay.
it's not better than the one I have. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're not that one creature that can like attack with 2 shields, whatever that one is.
Captain
I forget what
America.
Well, that. Anyways, so yeah, looking on the ground, this large medallion does seem about the size of the type of thing you were looking for.
I'm gonna pick up the
But
medallion.
you're both down on the ground. Okay, you pick it up, and it's it's pretty big. Like it's not small, but I guess describing it as a medallion might be a little underwhelming.
And I'm also gonna take the guy's skull, just for fun.
You're gonna take the skull? Okay.
It's a keepsake. Why are you looking at me like that?
Yeah, it looks human in
You
size.
You.
Human in size and jawline.
And I'm just gonna take the medallion over and try and toss it up to Bugs.
All right. So this is like you're throwing a discus. So go ahead and do an athletics check. You're going to throw a really heavy object like up 30 feet. 8. You throw it and it just against the side of the cliff.
I'll toss my rope down. Tie it on my rope.
Well, how about we climb the rope so that we can be up there too?
Yeah, you guys can come up here too. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. Hold it on. I'm coming up with the disc thing.
I gotcha.
Don't drop me.
And I'm just gonna climb up the rope with the disc thing in my pack.
I will wait till he gets to the top before I start climbing.
Okay. So an 8. Okay. So what are you going to do, Tanya?
I'm going to climb the rope as well.
All right. So I think if you just take your time, we can kind of like more or less do a take 20 on this. I don't think it would take 20 minutes, but I think if you just take your time with the 3 of you and the climbing skills, at least 2 of you have already shown, you'd be able to get everybody up here. And after a couple minutes, you are, just for the sake of brevity, you all 3 make it up here on top of the cliff. You get to the top of the cliff and you have the medallion in tow. so you're free to do whatever you like. Did you want to do anything? I'm assuming you're going to attempt to insert it into the slot, but did you want to do anything else prior to that?
I'm gonna light up my lantern of revealing and shine it around.
All right. What does that do?
Ooh.
While lit, this hooded lantern burns for 6 hours, shedding a bright light a 30-foot radius. Invisible creatures and objects are visible as long as they are in the lantern's bright light.
All right. So it's a lens of truth. So you do not see anything out of the ordinary. You simply see the statue with the two skull things on it. And you already know that they emit the Arctic air, but only if you pull a lever. And then you see this teleportation device with a slot that is the exact size and shape of that medallion.
All right, I'll stick the medallion in.
All right, you stick the medallion in. To do so, you would have to be kind of standing on that lever unless you like clambered up on top of one of the skulls. So the moment you insert that, you vanish. And the pillar, or not the pillar, the platform where he was standing is glowing. What would the other two of you like to do?
Jump in after him.
All right, when you all jump in, you will go in through the teleportation circle, and you will then be teleported to the next floor.
Sweet.
All right, when you appear on the next floor, you will actually, let me go ahead and switch the player icon. Cool. You find yourself in a very large room. I know the trend has been that it's larger every time, but this one is substantially larger. You find yourself in what looks to be a large battlefield. There are like skeletons and charred armor laying on the ground in front of you. It looks like at least 30 or 40 fallen warriors. There are these large rocks and stones in the middle of this area that you cannot see past, but you'd imagine that the carnage continues. You are standing, sizable chunks of stone decorate the path before you, and there's the charred, crumbling, armored skeletons that are littered across the ground. The room does not seem to have a ceiling. Instead, there's these rocky cliff sides that seem to be encasing you in this large cave-like area. But the ceiling, they just continue up hundreds of feet, and then eventually you see a night starry sky above you. On your side of the room, there is a stone plinth. So directly next to where you have just appeared, which is right here, if you can see my ping.
Oh, we're down here. Gotcha.
Right here where you appeared, you actually see a tower to your left. It is a 5-foot wide pole that's about 30 feet tall. And on top of it, you just see floating, hovering above it, a shining silver key. It is right next to you. However, based on what you can see from here, even with these giant rocks in front of you, this room is very large, a couple hundred feet long. It's about 300 feet long, 200 feet wide. And way up on the other side, you can see on a raised platform, about 50 feet up, a large golden door. There seems to be a ladder leading up to the door. And just from where you're standing, you can see it. Even though it's pretty far away, it's so high up that even with these other rocks and cliffs in the way, you can see this door across the room, about 300 feet away.
And where did you say we were? I only just found the bottom of the map.
Sorry, here, let me do this for you. Did that work? I don't know if that worked. I don't know why it's just freaking out every time I try to do that. You're starting
every time
here
I
at the
try
bottom.
to cheat. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just put a random token on the map again. There you go. So there's this map right here, or this token right here on the map, and you are all about right there. So right here is a large stone plinth, and it's about 40 feet tall, and on top is that floating, shining silver key. What would you like to do? You don't hear anything really. It's just kind of like a silent cave. The only light is coming from the moonlight and the stars above. So it's not pitch black, but it's pretty dark.
Huh.
I don't know. I feel like that key right there is bait for something. This is too easy.
Yeah, it's right next to you. It's just you just gotta climb
there.
that pole, and it's all yours.
Bait for maybe opening a door to get out of here?
You do see a door. It's impossible to tell if it's locked or not from where you are.
And it's a gold door, and we got a silver key.
Yeah, it looks like a big door, like a golden, shining, like 12-foot tall double door.
And that's on the other side, right?
And it's 50
It's
feet
not
up
the
in
one
the.
next to
It's
us.
50 feet off the ground on a cliff,
With a ladder, though, right?
with a ladder leading right to it. It's about 300 feet away. Or I guess if you count for the height, it's like 30, I don't know, 320 something feet away.
Huh.
However, the Pythagorean theorem would work in this situation.
How tall are these boulders here?
They're about 20. They're not all even or anything, but they're roughly 20 or 25 feet tall. You can certainly climb up the sides of them. They're not covered in ice or anything. They would still require some skill, but nothing like the icy room you were just in.
Am I able to like tie a knot on this key without like moving it on my rope and then climb up?
Do you have a grappling hook? Or you know what? I would assume at a level 5 you could have purchased a grappling hook if you wanted one. So why don't you just go ahead and roll for it? You can do survival or athletics. You spin that grappling hook around and shoot it, like launch it up into the air, and it like hits the key and it bounces off of it. So it does seem like the key is solid, but it's not like it didn't seem to latch onto it. But it's not an illusion. It was definitely solid, whatever it is. However, the moment that you hit the key, you will hear a voice. Who has come into my chambers? And I need all 3 of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
So this probably isn't something I can see, right? So I won't have advantage on that.
Yeah, not yet. You can't see it.
17. Would this still be considered frightening, or?
No. 17, 15, 21.
Nice.
All 3 of you succeed, so you will only take half damage. As suddenly a large beam of fire comes just shooting out of the dim darkness and right at where all 3 of you are kind of standing around this stone plinth. And you all take half damage, so you each take 11 fire damage. You will see a large creature, maybe 4 feet in diameter, it looks spherical in nature, rise up above the cliffs. It seems to be floating in the air. This creature has it is kind of golden red. It has a large central eye in the center of its body with a huge toothy maw. It does not appear to have like shoulders or limbs or anything like that, but it does have 12 different tendrils that come off of this spherical form, all which have small little eye stalks attached at the ends of them. I think all 3 of you would know it to be some sort of beholder kin, and it is glowing as it has just fired this fire attack at you. And we'll roll initiative as you were being attacked by some sort of beholderkin. Yeah, it's very large. It's certainly larger than any of you. It looks like it could probably eat any of the 3 of you with its teeth. So a 12, a 3. These are really good against beholder.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I
Let's
thought I
see.
saw somewhere I got advantage on initiative. But
It got a 17.
I'm not sure where I saw that at. Oh well. I got an 18.
All right, so it comes. So you got an 18, so you go first. What do you do? It is
Oh, wait a second.
hovering.
Did it roll twice? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it did. I thought you had advantage. Do you not?
Oh, I just clicked it once. Yeah, I thought I saw advantage somewhere, but I don't know what it's from.
I mean, if it
Oh,
automatically
yeah,
did it.
Yeah, I clicked it once, so.
Okay, if you have advantage on initiative, that's fine. So you have 18. What do you want to do? This thing fired this fire blast at you from its central eye.
Do I see it? Like, how far
Yeah,
away
it's
is it?
floating.
Oh, he's floating?
Yeah, it's floating above, so you can certainly see it.
How high is he floating?
Maybe 40 feet up. It's just like 10 feet above one of these rocks.
Well, I don't know if I could...
From where you're at, it's 160 feet away.
Well...
And it'll say, you will all die here, fools. And once again, you just hear that in your mind.
Probably not wrong.
The like the area where you teleported in is no longer glowing.
Crap.
And just in case you were wondering, folks, this is about the time where this gets really hard. So if you want to make donations, this is the time from here on forward.
How far away did you say?
About 160 feet.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna run
160.
towards it, but
Okay.
also like behind some of the boulders, try and like, you know.
All right, where do you want to run to?
Let's see. Where is this thing at? Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, it's right
Probably
here.
like, how do I ping my location?
You just click and hold it. Left click.
You see that?
Yep.
Right, about right here.
Okay. All right, so you run forward against this rock, and you're just kind of hiding. Did you want to dash or anything?
No, I'm just gonna wait it out there, I think.
You want ready in action?
Yeah, if
Like-
it comes within range, I'll throw my hand axes at it.
Okay. All right. So as you're fighting this beholderkin, you are pull out both your hand axes, and you are ready to strike if it moves towards you, which it will, because next is the beholderkin. It flies right over this rock. It moves
Heal the party.
pretty far, and it comes right around this rock. And it's about 30 feet above you in the air, but it is like, pretty close to you. So you can immediately roll for that attack. We have a $15 donation to heal the party.
Oh, thank God.
Adam, does that heal them all the way, or do they roll a certain amount of dice, or how's that work?
He's probably still napping.
Well, he said something a little bit ago. Unless that was Brittany.
Oh no, that was Adam. He said I laid down to try to take a power nap.
Yeah. That's how you know it's him.
For this attack, am I able to do both axes? Because I have 2 attacks.
Yeah, I'll let you do both. Why not?
Okay.
You took the attack action, which means you get, an extra attack.
I threw 1 at 9 and 1 for 14.
So full heal. You were all at full heal. You've
Dang.
all completely.
Sweet.
So you don't regain spell slots or anything, but you're at full health.
That helps.
It's pretty good. I mean, that's $15.
Thank you.
Nice.
It's like an hour of labor
In the Netherlands.
in the Netherlands.
But yeah, does a 9 or 14 hit?
Does a 9 or 14 hit? Well, that's a good question. Allow me to consult the appendix that I created. So 15. What'd you say? 8,
9 and 14.
9, and 14. Your 14 misses. You throw both axes, and they both just fall short of this thing, and it is now going.
I put my hands
Yeah.
up to surrender.
It's staring at you, and I want you to make a wisdom saving throw the moment you come within its gaze.
No.
It's 6.
6. All right. So it stares at you, and you're like, okay, I'm sorry. And you're like trying to surrender. And let's see. All right. So you are stunned. So you look at it, and suddenly you just temporarily black out for like a round. So when it hits your turn, you're going to be able to make another wisdom saving throw. And if you fail, you just skip your turn.
Okay.
So you were like staring up at it, and you're so afraid. You were like staring into its eyes, and it's like the snake from the Jungle Book, and you can't look away because you were just so terrified that you feel like if you break eye contact, you're going to get vaporized or something. And you don't like that very much.
I do not like that.
I'm a snake.
That's a snaky snake. So you got a snaky snake coming around.
I'm a snake.
Look into my eyes, Jungle Boy.
And I put some more figures on the field so we can kind of know where everybody is. And we will now move to the... or actually, no, that was just from its gaze. What am I doing? I almost went too easy on you. It is now going to activate an eye ray. So it focuses, and you are stunned. And as you're stunned, it's going to close its central eye and then zap you with something from one of its eye rays. So it needs to roll 1d4.
Cool.
And it's a 4. So I need you to make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw with disadvantage since you were stunned. Oh, 8. Natural 1. So with that natural 1, you fail and you are paralyzed as beams shoot from its other eye stalks, and you just literally feel your limbs go numb and you just collapse to the ground prone. And this thing is, from their viewpoint, they probably thought you got vaporized, and they're probably just relieved to see that your body collapsed, but you're not just ashes. And then we're gonna move on. So next we will have, oh man, let me scroll up. It looks like a 12. So Fidget.
It was me.
All right, Fidget, what are you gonna do? You just saw this guy drop. As far as you're concerned, he might have just got knocked to 0. You don't know.
I'll be
No
right
idea.
back.
And now the player's walking away. He just died, as far as you're concerned.
I would
He's at
like to
0.
stand right here and shoot at him with my short bow. Miss horribly.
You got a 13.
I did.
All right, so that 13 is going to miss. Yeah, this thing is floating in the air. It doesn't look like it's armor. When you're looking at this thing, you feel like you've seen a beholder before, like in Waterdeep or something, and it looks smaller than most beholders. So it's either not a legitimate beholder or it's a younger version of one. But nonetheless, despite it not having tough skin, it's just hard to hit because it's in the middle of the air, and your arrow just goes flying right past it.
Got it. And I would like to bonus action disengage and come back and try to hide around.
All right, so you go to hide around the corner, and
Do I be all stealthy?
you can move. Do you want to try to be stealthy? I feel like you'd have to use your action to hide to be healthy, to be stealthy. I think after just attacking it, it kind of knows you're there. But you can certainly hide to where you're no longer in its line of sight.
That's what I would like to do.
Cool. And then we will move on. So, Ryle, what are you doing?
Set it on fire.
I am going to hug the wall here and look around and see it, and I'm gonna get cocky.
I'm surprised you don't have any mayonnaise golems.
No. But I'm gonna shout, "Oh, you're so screwed now, dude!" And then I'm going to use my 3rd level conjure animals.
Oh shit!
And I'm going to summon 8 beasts of challenge rating 1/4 or lower, and I'm going to summon 8 giant bats to attack him.
Oh yeah!
Sweet. Uh-oh.
Holy
Does he have
shit!
counter spell, right?
Well, let me guess. They have some sort of ability like pack tactics or swarm.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Normally, creatures will have that. Okay, so you're gonna summon some bats.
Yep.
8 of them?
Yeah, 8 beasts of challenge rating 1/4 or lower, and giant bat is listed. Yes.
All right, I'm going to summon 8 upside down bats because I'm not switching them. I'm not doing it. Too much effort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, you summon 8 bats. They all surround the thing in midair, and it starts to whap at them with its little eye stalks. It's trying to slap them away with its eyes. It closes them and just and it lets out a little groan of discomfort every time. All right, go ahead. And do they get to attack this turn, or they gotta wait?
Let me see. Each beast is considered a blah blah. Summoned creatures are friendly. Roll initiative for the summoned creatures as a group, which has its own turns. So I guess I'll roll initiative for them. Or what if it had done it? Oh, unless that 1 was their initiative. Yeah, they have initiative of 1. So I don't know if they get to go. I guess they will go after me. So, and that is, yeah, I think that's my action for the turn. Yeah, so we'll end that there. Now it's my giant bat's turn. And they're just gonna bite him.
All right, go ahead and roll.
So should I do 8 different bites?
Yeah, just roll 8 d20s plus whatever. We'll just rapid fire. Also, Adam, if you can hear me, which you should be able to, unless you're sleeping again, check your Discord. I sent you a message that is imperative to this operation.
Okay, they're the 8 giant bat bites.
All right, we have an 18, a natural 20, a 19, a 13, a 21, a 22, another natural 20, and a 21. What I'm seeing is 1 miss, a whole lot of hits, and 2 natural 20s, which is pretty good. So they're going to take a total of, 13, 17, 25, 32, 41. 49 damage from these bats. These things start swarming this thing, and they are biting the shit out of it. And 40, that's a lot of damage.
I'm going to look around the corner and watch the bat swarming him and biting his eyes and be like, I'm the Batman, bitch. And I'm going to just duck back around.
All right, so yeah, you are biting this thing. This thing is not like dead, but like it's actually pretty hurt. Like that was pretty effective. And after the bats, we move on.
Druid uses Zubat. It's very effective.
So what do we move on to? Next would be top of the initiative, right? Bex the Bugs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still stunned, right? I gotta do a check, you said?
Yeah, you're stunned. So, yeah, go ahead, and it is going to be
Or wisdom.
So you're paralyzed. So Constitution saving throw. You're stunned and paralyzed. Yeah, because you're stunned, you have disadvantage. Wow. You break free. You are no longer stunned you're no longer paralyzed. You suddenly regain consciousness and your limbs seem to move. But I want you to make another save. Now you got to make a wisdom saving throw. This one's just normal, no disadvantage.
I just bust out of it and I'm like going
Let's see if you're going to bust out of stunned as well.
Another con save, you said?
No, this one's wisdom. 9. So you're still stunned. So you just can't take the attack action, basically.
Okay. But I can do other stuff?
Yeah, well, you can't cast an attack spell either. You basically just can't make an attack, but you can do other things.
Yeah, I'm gonna back up away from this thing.
Okay.
Since he's not on me, I don't get
no attack of opportunity. He's up in the air.
Sweet. That's all I wanted. I don't feel safe around the thing. That's all I got.
All right, so then we move on to the Beholderkin. This Beholderkin is very distracted by these creatures around it, and it is going to begin firing rays from its head, essentially. And well, it has 12 eye stalks, so I need all of them to just make a quick dexterity saving throw.
All of us?
No, just the bats.
Oh.
All 8 of them. Yeah. So anything under a 15 fails. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them fail. So 5 of them take 26 fire damage as these beams start just erupting from its eyes. Does that kill them? Okay. But this thing then uses its movement to try to move over here. So now it's floating above this rock. So everybody can still see it if they back up enough.
The bats
but
get
it
attacks of
will.
opportunity.
Yep, it will invoke attacks of opportunity.
Go bats! Go bats!
Go bats. So there's 3 left.
All right, so there's 3 more. So it ends its turn, and it is up in the sky, still about 30 feet up. It's just above this other rock now. And we will continue on. So that's the end of its turn. So now I believe we go to, is it Fidget's turn?
It is Fidget's turn.
Mm-hmm.
Does Fidget have a clear look at it above her?
From where
Or is
you're
it-
at, I think
Yeah.
you're hidden pretty well. If you want to move back a little bit, you totally could see it.
All right. I would like to move to about here and go for the crossbow again. I mean the short bow.
All right. So you said about here.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and attack. 22 hits.
Sweet.
21 damage.
Uh-huh. Because he didn't know I was
Wow.
there. Because I'm so sneaky.
Which eye do you hit? The central one or one of the eye stalks? Because you
I
definitely
would-
hit it.
I just want, just right in the center of that center eye. Just
Yeah, you just
sharp
shoot
stick
this
in the
thing
eye.
right in the eye, and it lets out a squeal noise as that arrow buries itself into that iris. It seems to go into some sort of panicked rage as it's just like moving around in a circle rapidly, and yeah, that arrow is just protruding from that eye. And anything else?
Bonus action disengage, and yeah, I'm just gonna stand really, really still. I'm stealthing in place.
All right, and then we move on. So now, what is Ryle's turn?
Advantage.
All right. How high up is he?
About 35 feet, 30 or 35,
Alright.
like 32.
I can't hit him with the poison spray then. I am going to hit him with a frostbite.
Okay.
So target must make a con saving throw. Needs to be 15.
All right, here we go. Ten.
All right. On a failed save, the target takes cold damage, and it has
All right.
disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes. I don't think he's wielding any weapons.
How much damage?
7.
7 damage. Okay, so you actually hit it with enough frost damage to kill it. What does that look like?
He just sort of frosts over and then drops onto the rock and shatters.
All right, so yeah, you hit this thing with the arrow in its eye. It is not able to, normally it would try to disintegrate this attack in midair before it hits it, but it is far too distracted, and you manage to hit this thing perfect, and it'll freeze and just drop to the ground. And yeah, it lets out it doesn't shatter like you might have hoped, but it does certainly die fatally as it just crashes to the ground on top of these rocks. And as soon as that happens, the stone plinth actually just vanishes, and that key clatters to the ground in front of you, just drops onto the ground.
Well done.
And that's how you kill an eye bag.
And I pick up the key and start walking.
All right.
I'm
So you
gonna
pick-
eyeball the bats nervously as I follow him. Like, are they good? Are they with us?
How strong are the bats? They're giant bats, right? Like, they could lift a halfling.
And a bunny.
And a smaller halfling?
I'm just gonna say,
My bats, to me!
and then I'll hold out my arms, and they're just gonna pick me up in this
Like the
savior-esque
flying
pose
monkeys.
and just flop me over to the door.
Hurry up, guys!
Yeah, they fly you all the way up to the top. There's a ladder if you.
I'll use a
all
ladder
wanna-
like a normal
Yeah, I'm gonna
halfling.
run up there.
All right, yeah, you climb to the top, and there's those 2 double doors, and then there is a keyhole.
Are you the keymaster?
Yep.
I'm gonna unlock the door.
All right, you open the door, and yeah, it just clicks, and both doors open wide. And there's a bright light, and suddenly you feel as if you're being pulled somewhere, and you were just in another room. Like the light has teleported you to a room. And in this room, let me make sure I'm reading it correctly. You appear to be standing into what seems to be just some large, empty log cabin. You just find yourself literally in the middle of a log cabin. It's maybe 40 by 40 feet. Only has like a 12-foot tall ceiling. And you hear a soft humming noise from behind you. And you'll see that door that you stepped through just suddenly vanish. And you're now just in this log cabin. The room is completely empty of any furniture. There's no desks or beds or anything of that nature. What you do see, however, are about 20 or so very small, white, fluffy creatures that are bleeding and hopping around the room. They seem to be about the size of a normal bunny rabbit, but they appear to be docile, tiny little sheep. All very, very small, about 20 something of them. And they're just bah, bah. Many of them are sleeping. Some of them are just hopping around. You don't see any doors or windows. You're just in this giant room with all these baby little sheep. What would you like
Did you
to
say
do?
they were bloody? Or
No, they're
bleeding?
not bloody. They're bleeding. They're bleat with a T. They're letting out
Bleat.
little bleating
Oh, I
noise.
thought you said
Bah.
bleeding.
I thought
Yeah,
there was
I thought
20
they were
wounded
bloody
baby
too.
goats.
Yeah.
I
Nope,
was
they're little
imagining
tiny
red-
baby sheeps that are super cute, adorable, and not bleeding at all. And they're all
Excellent.
the size of little tiny bunny rabbits, and they're just hopping around,
Bleeding, not
being little
bleeding.
bunnies. Bleat, yeah, bleating, not bleeding.
Ing.
Yeah, they're bleating, and
Man. Complete different image.
it's very different.
Totally
And yeah, that's the opposite of the image I was going for. And what would you like to do?
I would like to sit down and hold my arms out to the happy sheep. And give
Yeah, all
them
these
love.
little tiny sheeplings come running at you and hopping all over you. Bah, bah, and they're like little tiny, like
This is
slightly
the
bigger
best
than a
day
shoe.
ever.
I start hopping around like them because you said they're hopping like bunnies, and I'm a bunny, so.
Yep, you feel like this place is wonderful, except that there's no doors or windows, and it's a whole bunch of tiny little baby sheep that are like not even babies. They're like tiny, they're like the size of shoes. They're like
They're lap sheep.
they are adorable.
I'm gonna look at my bats. I'm gonna say,
Dave, Dale, take up defensive positions in the rafters. Donnie, lift me up over this rabble.
and one of the bats is just gonna like keep me lifted up over them, and I'm gonna pull out my lantern of revealing and start shining it around the room.
All right, you fly up to the top and you hold out your lantern of revealing, and you see kind of like a black light. It just reveals all these weird etchings all over the walls, and you see the letter Z written at least a couple hundred times.
Guys, I think we have to go to sleep or something.
No, we have to count them. I'm gonna
Screw
start counting
that.
the sheep.
You guys can start counting. I'm gonna
I'm
stay
gonna
over
count
here.
the sheep.
All right, you can start counting them. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go to sleep. Ryle, what'd you say?
I'm just gonna stay up in the air since
Oh, okay,
she
cool.
is thinking she's gonna count the sheep. I'm just gonna
Okay.
I'm
Stay.
counting the
Fidget.
sheep.
You can start counting them, Fidget. You count 26. 26 little tiny sheep the size of shoes.
Right. I'm gonna pick up one of the sheep and examine it closely to see if there is maybe a letter on it.
You pick it up and it just goes, bah! And it starts kicking its little legs and stuff. And it's just this little furry tiny sheep. There's nothing written on it or anything. It's
There's no
just
tag, there's no collar, there's no.
Nope.
It's shoe size. Is it like they're not shoes, actual shoes, right?
No, they're just that size, like the size of a shoe or like a small rabbit.
There's 26 tiny sheep in a room full of Z's.
How many Z's are there around this area?
Oh, hundreds of them. They're just scribbled everything. It's like the number 23, but they're all Z's.
Got it.
Like, I think we're supposed to go to sleep, guys.
I mean, should we take watches?
I don't know.
I mean, I can't sleep on command. I don't know about you.
Do we have any spells that can make you sleep?
Do any of you know sleep?
I got some weapons I can knock this out.
I mean, you can just take a rest if you want. You don't have to like cast sleep.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna.
okay.
Do you want to do a short rest or a long rest?
I'm gonna do a short rest.
Yeah.
All
Take a
right.
short rest.
You all start to take a short rest, and as you all fall asleep, you can regain all the things you normally gain in a short rest. And we're actually going to end right there. And I've already talked to Adam, so we're going to attempt to continue this in the future.
Sweet.
Perhaps during a Modris Blood Sports Association time slot, if we can get it. I know they've been up to a lot lately, so they've been doing that every other week. So perhaps we can fit that in on one of the off weeks. But as long as the three of you are available, we can do that here in the next week or two. We have another stream for Roll for Weird starting in about 10 or 20 minutes. So we will continue and finish this. You are more than halfway through. So I think one night and we can finish this all up. But I would like to thank everybody for playing. I'd like to thank everybody for watching.
And donating. Thank you.
And donating. Absolutely. Yeah. But before we go, everyone just tell us, what kind of things you're working on. We'll start with Tanya.
Okay. I'm Tanya. I am Readings by Tanya on Twitter. I am an intuitive tarot reader, but I'm also a professional author. And my fourth book should be out sometime at the end of the year, hopefully. And it's a lit RPG novel about, it takes place half inside a game and half in the real world. And that's what I'm working on.
All right, we'll go to Rob.
I am playing games here on Twitch most days of the week, early in the mornings, around 9:30. And I'm also on the Eclipse podcast, a delightful D&D sci-fi romp, as Info Scott. And that is just about it.
All right, Dustin.
I am Ironclaw on One Shot Onslaught, Merlin on Halfway to Heroes. I have an Etsy shop, but it has actually been closed for like a year now. I'm hoping to open up sometime soon. I don't know, we'll see. But you can find me Ironclaw Relics on Instagram and Twitter. I'd also like to try and streaming some games. I don't know, that was a lot of fun just streaming. But that's it.
All right, and I am Jeremy. Once again, I'm the author of The Mage Tower. I also have two other titles on the DM's Guild, The Plight of the Blight Thief and The Siren's Cry. The Siren's Cry is a murder mystery, so it's really fun. And actually, it's prepared for up to 10 players. And I know you might think that sounds chaotic, but the way I've designed it, it only takes 3 hours to run no matter what. There's a built-in timer. And because it's a murder mystery, the players take control. So as a DM, it's super easy for you. It's a really good party game. Once again, check that out as well as the Mage Tower. I'm posting a link to that in chat. You can also find me on Dice Talk with Gerundu. It's an interview style podcast where we interview authors and content creators and streamers and DMs, and we talk about tabletop related topics. You can also find me on Eclipse as well, where I am the DM of Eclipse, which is a sci-fi fantasy thriller. It's set in the future of Spelljammer, so there's a lot of space travel and all sorts of cool, interesting things like that. You can also find me on Roll for Weird, which will be starting in about 10 or 20 minutes, which is a Monster of the Week podcast. You can also find me on a Shiver podcast, which name's escaping me for the moment. Doom Clock. You can find me on Doom Clock, which we've only recorded episode 0 so far. That is a Shiver tabletop role-playing game. Check that out. And then you can just find me on the Majestic Goose Network doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So once again, thank you for coming. Please stay tuned. We will have some more content coming to you in about 10 or 20 minutes. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
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 Oh, I'm supposed to click something, right?
Yeah, that's you.
BRB, maybe?
Okay.